This is round 5. It's the final group stage games before we have our playoffs. We're getting there. It's been a lot of hard work, but we're getting there. It's Twins versus Houndmaster. Houndmaster needs at least a point here. You're not going to qualify with 6 points. Ideally, she'll be looking for the win, which will all but confirm a playoff position. But at least needs a point. That means that Twins, you're looking for her to drop some points here. We'll start with Twins. Here we go, Group A. And Twins is eliminated, but can play spoiler to Houndmaster's efforts here as Houndmaster. Whoa, there's Dwight. As Houndmaster, ideally looking for 3 points. Could qualify with 1 point. We'll be looking for 3, so we'll want to avoid the Twins 4K here, as there's the M1. Tori Kane. Getting some good pressure on here already. Injury on Dwight. Potential dying state coming up on Tori. Just not quite getting around the corner. Very good stuff. Setting up Victor nearby. And that should be hook number 1 for Twins. In quick measure as well. Very good stuff. They're going to try and crawl under the pallet. Is there going to be someone here for a potential pallet save? There's no other killer instinct here, so Charlotte should be in the clear. And she is. Okay. So now, you're looking for that first gen that's moving for that Pop Goes the Weasel eruption, oppression kick. And this will do the business. Why not? That middle gen, a very important gen to keep on side. And Dwight has taken a poor line here. A really poor line. Has to commit to a bad pallet. Doesn't even want to commit to that pallet. Tries to get all the way to the cow tree. Shouldn't be able to here. There's a dying state. Going into the locker, it will do nothing. That'll get Eruption out on that middle gen. Another hook over here. Fantastic start for Twins, this. There's a fog valve. Things might be getting better. As they both run past Victor. Someone hanging around right here. It's Sable Ward with the fog valve. They get the window. They flee the scene. There is Pop Goes the Weasel in the back pocket here. A little bit of a moonwalk, not quite going to work. Remember, it's coup de grace. And that will be enough for a tile like that. So third hook, 1 gen has popped. Got to think about how much the middle gen is moving. Could you go back there, get that kicked again? It's barely moving, in fact, so maybe not too worried about such things. As there's all 3 survivors for the heal on Tori. This is huge. Looking to go after someone else there, but only finds Tori, unfortunately. Who gets the vault, then gets away. Gonna send out Victor. Okay. Bit of a surprising collision there. No matter. Heads back to the hook. Sable. Endurance hit there. Where are they off to? Not sure. Not sure, as there's Dwight. Hit there. Out of coup de grace stacks now, unfortunately. Until another gen should pop. As here comes Victor again. A little bit robbed on the previous interaction, but aside from that, been pretty good so far. Looking for the hit, probably through the pallet. Nope. Little bit of a diversion from Dwight. Handily countered by Victor. And that will be hook number 2 for Dwight. No chance of DS or anything like that. Enough time's elapsed, plus there was heals and there was unhooks. 4th hook, 4 gens. Amazing situation for Twins. Oh. As in comes Ada here, looking to control Victor. Not quite able to do so. Too close to the hook. Was that dramaturgy? Maybe could have waited it out a little bit to get some potential... exposed value. Assuming no pallet save, it will still be another hook right here. Okay. Go ahead and recall Victor. Strange things are happening with Victor over there. Charlotte will have no more part in it. Bring him out again. Right, Dwight's ahead. And long-range pounce could be in play. Oh, just a bit too far to the right. Unfortunate. A rare mishap from Victor there, who's been really solid all tournament long. It's not been a great tournament for Twins, but that has really not been Victor's fault. His pounces have been relatively on point, it has to be said. As Dwight just takes a big loop, big circle all the way around here, sticks on this tile, heads back, gets to this pallet, and keeps on running. He's just moving. Dwight Fairfield is just moving right now. Oh, God, Victor is not being helped by some awful collision here. Really tough stuff. Coup de grace in play. Big lunge around the horizon. Dwight runs into a tree. There's the dying state. And assuming no save, that will be a 3-survivor kind of situation. There's Sable. Okay. Away she goes. Ada has a torch. Wasn't able to situate herself in time. There's the fog vial again. There's Ada. Right. Gonna come back, get the gem regressing. Oh, it's already regressing. Great. Oh, it's still regressing, I should say. Victor flying like a bird. It's a French Jaws. It's very true. He's hitting everything here. Including, thankfully, the survivors. And there's another connection. Tori heads off to roughly where the other survivor was heading. Things looking really good for Twins, but all it takes is a couple of gens popping, and all of a sudden, she's back in a tough spot. No coup de grace, unfortunately. Coup de grace would have been fantastic here. As they go, pallet. Okay, that should be a pallet bow. Choosing to hold on to Victor here. Charlotte will just take him back. The Tori's maybe been the most competent looper out of the bunch here, so this could be a little bit tough. Holding the pounce. What a shame. What a shame. Big whiff. Won't whiff a second time, though. All me once, shame on me. No, other way round. Anyway, dying state. The gem will pop. And another gem pops, and all of a sudden, there is trouble ahead. Certainly needs to get that kick out there. Is there any gem movement on middle gen? No. Any over here? Also, no. Going to control Victor. As there is a survivor who actually might have been heading this way. Yeah, went around Shack there. Are they up? Are they all up? Hit on Sable. Everyone's injured. Okay. Very good stuff here for Charlotte. Everyone injured and everyone briefly located as Sable is taking Victor on a tour of the remaining survivors here, which is very, very helpful. Allows Charlotte to find Tori. Dead hard, there it is. Dying state 2, survive the game. It really has come right down to the wire here. And if you're Charlotte, you're very happy to see Tori Kane out of the game again. Pretty strong loops. Right there. As there goes Sable. Confirmed intel on Sable as she runs along the periphery. Victor in tow. We see a cheeky fog vial. Needed to be getting rid of Victor there. That was kind of poor. Honestly, you're giving Charlotte way more intel than you need to there. So, second hook for Sable. Where is Ada in all of this? Keep Charlotte kind of close to the hook. Send out Victor on an excursion. Gem movement in here. It's likely that Ada was here. Has she gone elsewhere, however? Possibly, possibly. There's the unhook. Eventually, we can control Charlotte again. It's Shoulder the Burden as well, so Sable can take another dying state. Once the 15 seconds have elapsed. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. There's the fog file. There's the dying state. And there's hook number 2. Okay, so Ada is second hook now because of the shoulder, the burden, and here she is. And that's all she wrote. GG, 12 hooks. So that's tough for Houndmaster. Not eliminated, but does need a point to stay relevant. But would have been ideally looking for all 3. And this will be Twins' final game of the 2026 World Cup. Honestly, they've not done as bad as their record would imply. I think this is a campaign for them to build upon and come back even stronger in 2027. Farewell, Twins. Thank you for the games. GG.
There be filthy rats out and about.
Filthy rats are out and about, and they've all got to go on a hook if Houndmaster is going to have any chance of making it through to the round of 16. The 4K, nothing else will suffice here for Houndmaster.
No.
And Snarg not quite going to be able to get this connection here. Not the best of maps of Houndmaster. Has a lot of trouble around this main building, as many killers do. I'm going to pivot over here just to check if there's anyone on that gen. There is not. Okay. Well, obviously an early located survivor there, but not much done about that fact. Back on them here. Is there any movement in Shack? On Shack gen? There's plenty of movement on Shack gen. There should be an injury on V. Failing that, it should at least be Snug getting the grab and then the M1 coming through. Just making sure that no one gets back on the gen while Houndmaster's gone. Getting a little bit of speed boost here. And yeah, they took a wide line there. And that will be eventually the dying state confirmed. Okay. Oof, going for the blind there. Obviously set themselves up in position pretty swiftly. Thankfully for Houndmaster, not able to make a play. Seeing a lot of flashlight gamers and blind attempts going on so far. There's the unhook. They send Snug all the way over there. Meanwhile, maybe still putting some pressure on this unhook, as that is Nia, who gets it there. There's Gem moving over there as well. There goes the pallet. There goes the blind. Still needing to get the kick here. That's Jake who gives away. The M1 there. Needs a window, won't get it. Dying state. Okay, as the gen does pop. It's the gen all the way off in the carnival. If you're going to lose any gen early, you're maybe not too worried about it being that one. It'll be the second pain res. Jagged Compass as well. It's still this gen that is the pressure point. Sending Snug there as quickly as possible. It's still aggressing. No one around. Okay, just going to take a looping patrol here that encapsulates all the remaining gens. So if you're Houndmaster now, you'll be having a lot of survivors trying to take you on a chase over there. You cannot do that. You've got to stay where the gens are. There's the unhook. Going for a heal. There's V, the injured party, caught massively out of position here. Has a pallet. Not going to go for it. Keeps on running. Oh, was looking for the chase. Finds only the search. That won't be enough. A Snug has been obliterated by a pallet. Where's Snug gone? Deary me. Absolutely obliterated there. Sent into core constituent atoms and quarks by that pallet. This will be the dying state. Surge right there, hoping for no blinds. Oh, and they don't quite have the angle. So Second hook for V.
Enough theatrics.
So there was some movement there, not too much, and Surge will have put that to a stop. Wow. That's a quick unhook. And with 3 gens remaining, and the unhook right in Handmaster's face, she's going to take chase with V. Why not? Very, very, very aggressive kind of unhook there. They get the vault. They do not. Could be in trouble now. Where does she get to? The pallet here. Oh, great fake. Great fake from V. There you go, snug necks. Could be DS. If it isn't, that'll be the 3 survivor situation. Is there going to be anyone here for a torch save? Nope. Up they go. A bit nasty, maybe. It was an unbelievably quick unhook. I don't know what they were thinking with that. And if you want to criticize the nasty killer plays, please do go ahead. But there also does need to be some level of forethought with when and how you're getting these unhooks. Especially when, you know, the game's been looking tough for Handmaster here. There's the M1 on Jake.
Hurry!
They don't go through the doorway. They drop down here. Decent move. But well countered by Handmaster. Tricksy little line dropping through the gap onto the platform. Doesn't quite work out. That's a very important surge as well on that gen right there. One of the greatest searches you've ever seen there from Snug. Went absolute centimeters with that search. Unbelievable stuff. Hey, Scratch Mark's heading this way. Can they be located? Doesn't look like it. Okay, back to the gens. As in goes Cheryl, but a bit too timid, a bit too cautious. And she'll be pushed away. Okay, well, a lot of confusion, a lot of weirdness, but there is the dying state. There is the injury nonetheless, and Cheryl doesn't trade here. He's going to try to do so. Needs to commit here. Needs to commit. Cheryl takes a dying state. Nia really has to commit. And does. Okay, well, you know that's not decisive strike. Because they just healed. So, there it is. Final hook there. First hook for Cheryl. This is some of the unhooking of all time. That has to be said. Plays are being attempted theoretically. There's the unhook, okay. And now going after Nia, you want as much time as possible to get the hook and then deny hatch. There is. Oh no, the intel is on Nia right here. Right, gotta find Cheryl.
Find your rat.
If you find Cheryl, you can begin to bring this game to a close. It's an unhook, it's deliverance. Okay, back to the hook goes Houndmaster. It's not quite finding the way to close down this game just yet. As they'll be making a break for Shaq. The vault. Cheryl heals up.
Lay your head rot off.
Goes to pallets. Snug looking for the chase. Gets it, and Cheryl's up ahead. So brief intel on where Cheryl is. Obviously can't slug for the 4K. That is a rule, but has some actual information to work upon after the hook.
Sick.
Are they still around this tile? Yes! Okay, that's huge. M1 on Cheryl. Moving them away from Shaq as well. That is great news. Catches up really nicely. Oh, good play from them. Not sticking onto the pallet. That should be all she wrote. GG. So Houndmaster keeps her tournament hopes alive for now with a 12 hook total that will get the draw and put her on 7 points. She has a chance. Tough to put a percentage chance on her hopes against the playoffs. I'd say it's below 50% for sure, but she's in the running. To the spreadsheet. The post-game chat's going to be very interesting for that one as well. Is there any? There's none. Okay, fair enough. It was not all that interesting whatsoever. Twins ends their campaign with a 3rd draw, taking their hook total to actually a very healthy 46 there, which has not been enough for any real number of points, but decent, decent. Houndmaster, by contrast, gets a point. The draw. They will most likely be competing for a 3rd place qualification. 48 hooks, 7 points. It might be enough. It might be enough, we'll see. Firstly, we have an opportunity to eliminate either Houndmaster or Plague here. If Blight can get all 3 points, then it will be a battle between Plague and Houndmaster for that 3rd place spot, and Skull Merchant also eliminated and just playing for pride. Skull Merchant has nothing to play for, eliminated from the playoffs, but can ruin Blight's day, and she'll be very interested in doing so here. A win over Blight, and Blight is eliminated, which would be something of a shock. Well, maybe not much, considering Blight has that range killer speed nerf that he's been battling with this tournament. That's blind. Seems to me like they stayed up there. There's Alucard, okay. Another drone around Ski Lodge, but just making the Ski Lodge as nasty as possible for the team here. Getting a drone on that pallet. Maybe looking for one more drone on this tile here. We'll get the M1. Right in the window could be good. I can't flees the scene. Hinako gonna run interference here. Drone up. Okay, injury there. And can Alucard get away? No. So the body block only gives an injury and doesn't buy that much time. A gem pops, which is a shame, but not an awful start here for Skull Merchant. If we could take a sidebar here, YouTube, something very important has just come up in the chat. World Cup, my ass. Okay, what's the problem now? Context, YouTube, this is someone who we have been conversing with up to the game, who has really taken issue with something that I'm doing here. I'm still not sure what. Anyway, while that's percolating, Skull Merchant has a game to do. As there's a blind. Jake runs away. Okay, plenty of drones up there. Looking for an opportunity. It's not a great map for undetectability is the only thing. That's a great fake out from Jake. Completely duped Skull Merchant on that one. There goes the pallet, there goes the point. hanging around here. In fact, there's the injury with the drone. Okay, huge drone value. Good line here from Jake, has to be said. And that will be the dying state. Two hooks to Skull Merchant. Still 4 gens in play. May not be the case for too much longer. There goes the second right there. It's going to get some unstectability. There's someone committing to the gen. This could be an injury. It will be on Hinako. Okay, interesting. Pre-drop here. It is. So they do drop down. Okay. Decent prediction from Skull Merchant. Ah, it's balanced. It's balanced, or maybe a 99 sprint burst. Either way, Hinako gets some big distance there. A shame. Drone down. Medium Volt punished. Nice. Okay. So, third hook for Skull Merchant. You just get the feeling the gens are moving a bit too thick and a bit too fast right now. Surge not doing as much on this fairly large map as it could be. Get more unstectability out there. Recall a drone. Again, getting back to the middle. And not finding anyone just yet. Maybe recalling again. There's the unhook. Okay. There's movement. There's Alucard. Drone right in the middle of the double window. Zooming around Alucard. Could be dead hard. It isn't. And there's your fourth hook. And the gens have been kind of kept at bay. A couple pop. They were trying to get some movement on that middle gen. They've been unable to do so. There is movement over here as well. This has to be a kick. Here, plenty of movement that they're going to commit. No. Really anticipating someone sticking around there for that one. Oh, someone certainly is moving in for the unhook. There goes Hinako. Running right back into Skull Merchant there. Maybe to aggressively take aggro away from the hook, it could be, as this gen is no longer regressing. And it's Ada who runs back. Oh, Surge could be so massive here. Hinako could come around and get back on that gen really easily. That'll be the drop. Come on, come on, come on. Dying state before the gen pops. Gotta be. It will be. Okay, what an important surge that might be. Gonna go over. Get the hook here. Is there still an injured Hinako on this tile? It's having a listen. No, they must have found a way to get out of there, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, kicking the pallet and away she goes. Been a pretty well-played game so far. Decent chases. Good control of the gens. You have to imagine that if they're going for the unhook, they'll be getting the gen first. Oh, just spying someone moving in. That is Hinako. Unhook there. Ada runs this way. Hinako the other. Could be another surge hit on a really important gen in this corner. As it is Sprint Burst, they'll charge it up again and they'll get away. Sprint Burst, Sprint Burst, Sprint Burst. That perk again. Seeing a lot of it this tournament. This pallet's gone. Bloodlust in effect. It won't be Surge over there, so there's every chance that gen now does pop. Good play from Hinako to get away from it. There is plenty of movement over here, dearie me. Gotta be the kick. Where does Jake go? Goes around, looking to get back on it. Is this gen still regressing? It is not. As Ada gets claw trapped, is viewable on the radar. She is. As Jake presumably gets back on this middle gen. There he is, okay. Or Dramaturgy, hold on just a second. Could this be exposed? Oh, it is! The gamers still don't know how to effectively manage Dramaturgy, and it helps these killers once again. Huge hook. Huge surge hit on that middle gen. Regression on that gen. Regression now on this gen. That is magnificent. That will still be regressing. Able now, Skull Merchant, to get back over to this hook. Maybe could have been unstectable for this, you know. Would have helped her a great deal. Okay, no intel on where they've gone, unfortunately. It has been a 3-gen situation for so long. Maybe someone will get Shack gen at some point. But as it stands, this has been a Herculean effort to keep all of these gens on side for Skull Merchant here. Bit of Vader, are they going to run through? They will. They could afford to play a little bit more riskily because they still have a hook to give. To that end, Skull Merchant probably not that interested in taking that chase here. Running the wrong way around this. Oh. Jake just flees. Does he get the pallet? Yes. Oh, doesn't drop it though. Big mistake, surely. Could be dead hard. It isn't. Like we said, it is Shack Gen that goes, but this will be 3 survivors left. Oh, it won't be. It's still DS. What a shame. What a shame. And now Ada, fully healed, able to run interference. Oh, that's gutting. Yeah, gotta leave him at that point. Gotta leave him. Getting some unstability, looking to catch someone out on middle gen. Middle gen's still regressing. That's great news. And this gen's still regressing as well. As there's Alucard. Hit by the drone once. Ada's also taken the drone hit somewhere. Again, it could even be a ploy to draw attention from Skull Merchant here. As Alucard just keeps on running. Deary me. Hypotenuse Gaming right now. Is it going to be dead hard? Is it going to be live or something? Dying state for Ada. And it does enough. It does enough. Ada's playing exactly the way that they need to keep everyone in the trial. Everyone's now dead hook. At the very least, this means that Ada's not going to be able to too aggressively body block in the future. As there's gen movement. There's Jake. He gets away. Gotta be the kick here. Alucard all the way over on that side. There's the unhook, the pre-drop from Jake. Oh, really close to the injury, not quite getting it. Go for the blind. They don't get it. Thwack denies it. Huge thwack value. It's Dramaturgy again. It can't be exposed again. You don't get the same effect twice in a row. Unless they've used it outside of that previous engagement, but no, there they go. They get the pallet down. Loves to drop a pallet, does Jake. The one thing you've got to know about him. We'll be getting hindered from that. We'll crouch as well to try and deny. Drops. Big opportunity here. Huge opportunity here. Dying state there. So, 4 have become 3. And how impactful could Thwack have been there? Ada looking to take a hit, runs away. They do get a gen. It is the distant gen. The 3 gen still remains here. Says Alucard. As the pallet doesn't drop it, this Alucard just holds W and hopes. And in fairness, it's working out because it is moving Skull Merchant away from these possible surge situations over here. Hinako also takes an injury. Okay, this is good. This is good for Skull Merchant. Gets Spindle Gem regressing again. What a battle. What a game of chess. And I'm not using that in a derogatory sense, chess merchant, but no, I mean, this is a true battle of wits here between these survivors and Skull Merchant here. As Hinako gets healed up, at least that means that the gens aren't moving too much. You really want to take the chase back into the heart of the gens, and that's what Skull Merchant is able to do here. Looking to get some surge value as they drop the pallet immediately. Skull Merchant moving around. Lengthy side of the tile. Can it be the injury? It will be. It will be. as Alucard is also healed up. So that just means that the gem movement isn't as extraordinary as you might imagine. That's good news. No Volt there. Should be the Dying State, barring Dead Hard. Surge to the left. Middle gen could still be a concern. Alucard has taken an injury from the drone, which is surprising. Not being chased, not being pressured. Not being the best amount of drone denial here, has to be said. That seems too brazen from Alucard there, aggressively trying to take Skull Merchant away from the gen as Hinako goes this way. Ideally, you don't want to leave a healthy party in the end game, but Hinako is just getting as far from the gens as possible and leaving Alucard to do the work of the gen repair. There he is. And down he goes. Oof, but Hinako is right by Shaq. So if you're Skull Merchant, you need to hook as close to Shaq as possible. Can you make it all the way to this hook? It's going to be a true 50-50 here. It's going to be really close. Really, really close. Doesn't get it. Doesn't get it. However, it does mean that she can take the chase with Hinako and maybe deny them their position on Shaq here. Injury. Good stuff. Getting the mind game. Holding just a second, vaulting. They should only have a couple of volts left on the window. No, 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 no. No! Oh, thank God. Oh. I thought the server was done and we'd have to replay after all this. Right, Dying State for Hinako, but Alucard gets the gen. Oh, kind of annoying, isn't it? Kind of annoying. What might have been if the game hadn't temporarily broke. Okay, never mind. So Alucard gets middle gen. And presumably gets away. The gates are okay. You just got to deny hatch here. Oh, it's gonna be frustrating. It might be a very frustrating situation. Alucard could have got on the gate immediately. If so, he may well have it open by the time Skull Merchant gets over there. Not the best of gates to patrol here. Really not the best of gates to patrol here, as there are no lights. Okay. Getting some undetectability out there. Making it a bit difficult for them to gauge where Skull Merchant is at any point. No lights there. Coming back. Keeping undetectability. You just see how it is an ever so slightly annoying patrol, isn't it? Maybe better around this side. Is that the gate open? No, no lights. Then coming back. Okay, this seems like the patrol, doesn't it? Just making sure. Nothing there. Tell you what, the thing is, it would be even worse if it weren't for Noed. Noed is actually giving that little bit of haste, which could be the difference maker here. 11 hooks. $12 would make it much more difficult for Blight to maneuver himself into a round of 16 qualification scenario. Is Alucard even bothered by the gates? At this point, it really doesn't look like it, does it? No lights there. And if there's no movement here, it really should be all over. There goes Noed. But perhaps too little, too late. GG. GG. Blight on Badham, playing for his World Cup life here. Needs the 4K, needs a point. Without it, he is going home and he will not be participating in the round of 16. Obviously, Badham, not the kind of map you want to be seeing here if you Blight. There's Lisa. But Thalita might be in an even better spot here. Going to try and get to the pallet. Won't make it. Blood Favor in play now. And that will be the dying state. Good stuff from Blood Favor. Blood Favor directly being converted into a nice early dying state. There. Lisa was in the house, presumably knows about this totem. Is there any way Blight can stop them cleansing it? Alright, well, if they were here, they're not anymore. There is some gem movement upstairs. And there's the scratch marks. As they are here. Okay, it's Tori. This isn't Lisa anymore. Tori came. Dropping down. Where have they gone? There they are. Just not quite able to turn around the corner in the way that he needed to there, Blight. That's an opportunity missed. How's this? How's this? How close is this? Oh, a little bit of hesitation there. Oh, it just gets caught on the van. That's gutting. That's absolutely gutting for Blight there. Ambitious. Tori Kane had already left. Who's going in for the unhook there? Well, certainly not Tori, who's still stuck in amongst the pallets. Gotta be the drop here, right? No. That's bold, although Blight is range killer speed, so maybe that's an opportunity. Yeah. Good play. Gonna try and get to them before they get to this pallet, and will. Okay. Oh, and wow, they want to go for the gens. They want to go for the gens rather than getting their friends. So that is the second hook state unhook there. And there's a lot made of the notion of a gen rush. This is what a gem rush is. Sacrificing your mates, so you can get a little bit more progress, and it might actually work in Blight's favour here. And it's why I do think that gem rush is a little bit of a strange term. An honest to goodness gem rush honestly can be quite killer favourable. Anything else is, generally speaking, just commitment to the gens, which is, after all, the survivor's whole deal. Alright, so the unhook over there. Scratch marks actually rushing this way. No, there's someone around here. Oh, that's a shame. That's a big shame. Oh, the story. Using the little toy car to her advantage. Why not? Good work there. Seeing that Thalita was still injured. Thinking maybe she was still under the hook. AFK, annoyed at being left on hook. Could have been the case. It is not. There is the totem cleanse. And another totem gone, and that is Ruin. Certainly one of the totems gone here. Hello? And a couple of Pentimento totems out there. Keeping these gens as stalled as possible. The scratch marks ending suddenly. Here's some heading into the house. Can Blight take advantage of this? Yes, okay. There's Gabe, there's Lisa. Not great. Oh, but finds a way of getting the injury nonetheless, okay. Bit embarrassing. Oh, there's the vault. As long as it isn't sprint burst, as long as it isn't bounce landing. Blight's okay. Right, so the hook obtained eventually after a lot of back and forth. 2 Pentimento stacks in play. Blood Favor still in play as well. That's important. Again, movement here. There goes Tori, looking for not the pallet. I think she knows that Blight is currently unable to swing around any corners, so making moves that just counter him entirely here. There goes the first stack of Pentimento, still one available. There's the unhook, she's desperately hoping that the rushes come back, but just finding no rushes at the right time. 3 rushes for that might not have been too worth it in the end. No matter. As Gabe drops a pallet. Runs around. That should be the M1. A surprise, to be sure. A very unwelcome one. There's the vault. That will be the injury. Blood Favor. Are they hanging around this? They double back to the shack. Okay. For another rush. Getting back into shack here. Not bad. Finds a way to get rid of Killer Shack Pallet. And this one. Gotta stop Dave getting back to shack if at all possible. Like Will, there the rushes again. Again, 90-degree angles. Blight's worst enemy. It might well be an overcommitment at this stage, but I mean, just needs a hook. Desperately needs a hook, and this is not how you go about your business as Blight. That was purest folly. We'll be able to get a Pentimento Totem out there. Oh, God. We'll be able to get a Pentimento Totem out there. Yeah, big shame. Needed more out of that. Certainly needed the hook. And your gem movement. Pallet's still up. Unfortunately. There's the vault. There goes Lisa. But Lisa is the person you really don't want to be seeing in this situation. The person who it makes the least sense to be chasing. So, gotta go elsewhere. But I mean, this is just a Blight that we've seen too much of this tournament. Directionless. Motionless. All bluster and very little end result. And where's he going? Where's he going here? What is this? What is this? What's the plan here? Not much of anything happening for him. Gonna try and get this other Pentimento Totem out there. But things are looking very, very grim. Could this be the injury here? No. Fruitlessly swinging around corners. That's been Blight's game so far. And a kick on this side, keeping Tori on this side of the map. There's the blind. They don't get it. That'll be the injury. Mistake there from Tori. Will it be punished? Yes. Okay, needed that. Needed that a great deal. The second hook stage for her. Delita has done a good job just staying out of Blight's way here. There was an opportunity for Blight with that second hook stage. They've just been evasive enough. Could this be the injury here? No, but it will be the pallet broken. As that was presumably a last stand vault there. Let's run through. Oh, there's Delita. Okay. Just the place where you don't want the rushes, and there goes the last gem. And it looks like we're going to be leaving Blight on a very ignoble note here. Not able to get much of anything going. Ably countered by the team. It may be all over. Bring the pallet down. No. Greedy, bit greedy. Injury there. Tori might be in a spot of bother now. All it takes is one rush connecting. That is exactly what Blight has had trouble with. Wow, what a hit! Oh my lord. The issue being, of course, it'll just be immediate death hook and the team presumably leaves. But hey, I mean, you talk about ending on a high. At least there is that for Blight. GG. 6 hooks, not going to be enough. As Blight bows out. 12-6 victory for Skull Merchant. Her first win, and well deserved. Well deserved here as Blight loses. Cannot get a 3rd place position and is therefore eliminated. Very interesting matchup here now. If Plague gets 5 or more hooks, she is through in 2nd place. If she gets 4 or fewer hooks and loses, Houndmaster is through. Plague will have to try and get a 3rd place qualification, which seems maybe a bit unlikely. So, big game coming up. Xenomorph versus Plague. Xenomorph is through, but can lock up top spot with a win. Xenomorph. Borgo. Top spot in Group A. Already secured a playoff berth, but we'll be looking for, theoretically, an easier matchup by winning the whole damn group. That's what she'll be going for here, so, and it starts with 4K. On what is maybe not an ideal map for her. Injury there, will lose the tail attack, unfortunately, but honestly, you'd probably take that trade if you're Xenomorph not too unhappy with it, as Dwight commits to this tile. Could the M1 be in play here? They'll get the pallet. Still plenty of time until tail attack mode is back here. That'll be another pallet burn. B comes in for a blind, doesn't get it. Does on the 2nd time of asking. There's tail attack, okay. This could be good. There was a stun, fair enough. Well, 3 fairly important pallets have gone. Turret is back, but it's gone as well. Okay, there goes Shaq. Ah. Saw the shadow just under the wall, but not quite able to get the tail attack back in time to get a hit through the window. No matter. Alright, lots of good pallets gone. Maybe setting up for a decent endgame here. There is a level of precision to the Xenomorph's tail attack, which has hurt her time and time again. That will hit, however, strangely enough. Looked like less of a hit than the first one, but all's well that ends well, I suppose. As there's the turret. How that doesn't hit, I don't know, but at least it is the dying state there. Is it going to be a pallet save? All right, Dwight Fairfield. Little bit of a move around a pallet. Will that be good enough? Yes, it will. And the pallet's gone. That is hugely important. Has left a Pop Goes a Weasel kick there. Just wanting to get the hook as quickly as possible, which you can understand. This will be the kick on the gen. And tail attack is back, so it doesn't necessarily need to go into the tunnels here. There's Ninja Party on the pallet. Will this be a drop? Yes. There's dying state. Okay. Will it be DS there? Such a clean play. Really good move from Xenomorph. And rewarded with a hook. At this point, the upstairs of Decimated Borgo, or Forgotten Ruins, is looking really solid. There are still pallets left, and a fair few of them. But a fair few of them have gone. So there's Bill getting the unhook, looking for the heal. Good injury there on Bill. Finding a way of locating the top of the dome over the hay bales. Can he get to the portal? Could a well-placed tail attack do anything here? No. Flame turret. Unreachable for whatever reason there. Very unfortunate. As it's V up ahead. Gabe takes a hit, but V's in huge trouble now. Death Hook Party, Injured Party, has a pallet here, gonna drop it. Volts, live. Oh, the one thing you couldn't let them get. Real opportunity here for Xeno. She'll need some assistance from her team right here. That's darn safe. Right, well that will be a very fortunate 3 survivor situation here. Wow. Looking to come to the rescue of Dwight in the end. Has suffered a grievous loss. Alright. Looking to get downstairs. The multi-floor maps with the tunnels can be really, really confusing, and such is the case here. It is a flame turret, and it will just get rid of the tail attack. The M1 should still be on here, though, for Xenomorph. It will be. Oh, there's a couple of survivors over there as well. And the more chases you can have upstairs as Xenomorph, especially with all the good work that you've done on the pallets, the happier you are. And that'll be another Pop Goes Weasel kick on this gen. Holding the red stain. Oh, just does enough to get Gabe. Gabriel Soma taking the injury. Could be the tail attack here. Not even necessary. Great mind game. So first hook for Gabriel. Scratch marks heading to this tile. Interestingly enough, tail attack back quickly. Scratch marks suddenly end. What a shame. What a shame. So 6 hooks, 4 gens still left. There goes Bill looking for the portal. Won't quite make it. Turret's there again. Does find a way of breaking that one. Looking for the misdirect play to get to the portal. Isn't able to do so. Xenomorph could kick that gen. Chooses not to. Chooses instead to focus on Bill. Get another hook out there. And that should be all she wrote for that chase for now. Okay, hook here, another Pop Goes Weasel kick. There's Dwight as well. This has been a classic Xenomorph game here. Unceasingly dominant. Not giving the survivors a look in. Tail attack could be in play here. Dwight 3 dodging it. Just needed to get the corner there. Looking for the unhook. Isn't going to be able to get that. Big opportunity here for Xenomorph. Huge play. Huge play. All to do now for Gabriel. There's a really convenient hook here. So if you're not able to get the unhook on Bill while Xenomorph is getting this hook, well, things might start getting very, very tricky indeed. Going to get into the tunnels. Searching for footsteps. If you find footsteps, you could end this game right here, right now. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Okay, emerging again. There's the unhook. What a shame. All the way down here. Didn't want that. Up she goes. Should be in a good position to put some pressure on the unhook right here. Right start. Okay, fair enough. Could be DS. Nope. Just wanted out of this game. Right now, you gotta find Gabriel. Just to try and firmly shut the door on this game and to try and secure that 4K end results. Scratch marks end yet again. And that makes a lot of sense. It isn't Gabriel, though. It's Bill. So, there is still work to be done to deny hatch and thereafter deny gate. Little shimmy there, a little victory shimmy, hoping it will be a victory. There goes hatch. No dramas there, immediately getting that. And now, with 4 stacks of no way out, Xenomorph is presumably chilling. And what a game it's been for her. Just waiting to see what Gabriel decides to do here. Maybe moving a little bit further afield to try and encourage him to get on the gate that bit more quickly. It is just a waiting game right now. Just over a minute left on the endgame collapse. But yeah, what a game. Just a classic, really good tail attacks. And in a tournament plagued by a lot of equal hook distribution, leading to missed opportunities, Xenomorph maybe got a bit nasty with it. I'll leave that up to you to decide, but definitely slammed the door shut with that early survivor leaving the game. The 3 survivor situation. Didn't go out of her way to try and tunnel, I would suggest. But obviously, I'm not going to editorialize here. It's a well-played game. And I think it means that Xenomorph is guaranteed to win the group now, as Gabriel gets the gate here. There he is. Injury there. G. High five. Well played. Really solid game. 12 hooks for Xenomorph. So, the situation... Xenomorph has won the group confirmed. We'll be on 11 points. We can actually populate our first cell. Our first cell in the round of 16. Xenomorph will be in the round of 16, facing off against the second strongest third place killer when all is said and done. So now, for Plague, you have to get 5 hooks. 5 hooks and you're through. 4 hooks or fewer and you are in third place, and it's going to be unlikely to secure a playoff berth from there. So that's all you need to worry about if you're a Plague fan. 5 hooks. Okay. If you're a Plague fan, you're looking for 5 hooks. If you're a Houndmaster fan, you're looking for 4 hooks or fewer. Win or lose isn't really the trick here. The trick is having enough hook differential to leapfrog the other killer for second place. That's what Plague's going to try and do. That's what Houndmaster will want to be doing, as there is Michaela out in the open here. Hoping for a nice, easy bit of infection there to quite get it. That is really tough. Okay, it's a perfectly placed boulder to counter the infection. Should be an opportunity here. There it is. Okay, connecting there. Michaela going around the tree. Dear me, they're going to be near infected soon, you'd have to imagine. Amazed they're not yet. Now they are, and that will be the dying state. Alright, alright. There's someone hanging around potentially for a save here. Wants to at least get the infection out there. And does so. Trying to push them away, hopefully, with that. That's really good from Plague. And there's a couple of dying states right off the bat. Right out the gate and right off the bat. Going to go over here, hope that she has pushed them away enough to get the dying state here. Presumably, Tae Young is going for the recovery over there, infected from the action. Can he get that recovery? Yes. Yes, he can. Going to follow up on that situation. There's a potentially injured party looking for the unhook. This could be a trade. It will be a trade. Alright, good stuff there. Where've they gone? There they are. So, second hook and a second pain res. To boot. Tae Young fled the scene. Oh, there's Lara. What a mistake is that? Oh my giddy aunt. That is an absolute gift for Plague. And she's at 3. And it's about the worst possible start you could envision if you're a Houndmaster fan. Plague just capitalizing on unforced errors to get 3 hooks. She's, 3 hooks in, 5 the total for qualification. She's 2 away. And you have to imagine if she can just do things even slightly conventionally here, she's going to be in a fantastic spot going forward. Going to force a pallet burn here. Not a lot you can do about it. Strong pallet. There's a blind. Double up on the blind, unfortunately. Getting to this tile. Getting a pallet here. They're not going to drop it. That could be risky. Medium Volt won't be enough. Dying State. Assuming no DS. It's hook 4 of 5. It is not DS. Hook number 4 obtained. She is 1 away from clinching a very unlikely playoff berth in 2nd place here. Can she do it? Every chance, every opportunity, might even be thinking Corrupt Purge here to try and get this last necessary dying state. The game won't be over, she'll continue to play of course, but in terms of qualification relevance, this is what it all comes down to. Gem movement here. No one hanging around. Not just yet. They're all playing it very cautiously here, not wanting to give away another hook after a flurry of early game hooks. There's always nerves in the World Cup. Those nerves will not be settled until this hook is obtained. Survivors. Survivor right here. Around the boulder. This could be it. Unless there's some kind of save in the works. Oh, it's DS. Okay. Put the champagne back in the bucket. Reapply the cork. It's not over yet, but with 1 Corrupt Purge. Oh, that might be it. That might be it. Now is there going to be a twist in the tail? Going through the pallet, being a little bit risky with it. And she is through. Plague. A shock 2nd place for her in Group A. And the Plague fairy tale continues. Houndmaster not eliminated, but would be relying on a 3rd place qualification. 2 of these 7 groups will send a 3rd place killer through to the playoffs based on points and then hook differential. Houndmaster will be on 48 hooks and 7 points. It's possible, it doesn't seem likely. GG Plague. The game continues. The game continues nonetheless. And what the game state is looking like. Has to be said. 4 gens remaining. 3 survivors remaining. Couple of hooks on the remainder of the survivors, Lara and Michaela. Really, really solid work. So goes the Gen. Oh, Gen in the corner. Completed. Lara committing over here. Hiding red stain. Lara, who made a big mistake with a locker earlier on, basically gave away a hook there. Part of why Plague's had such a strong start to this game. And may have gone where no pallets lie. There's the injury, there's a dying state. Just so clinical from Plague. Hook obtained there. Number of hooks as well, very important for future tournaments, for the seeding and for how difficult your group will be. So there'll be eyes on 2027 as well with the remainder of this game. We'll still be looking for the 12 hook situation. Trying to get as many gens infected as possible. Not been getting the most value out of that add-on so far. Let's move in here. Get infected, there go scratch marks. And really wanting to set chase here, the only way you really lose this as Plague is if you keep on failing to find people and failing to put on pressure, capitalize on chases and get hooks. So, yep, definitely going to take this chase. Does scratch marks suddenly end? Likely to have vaulted. They have. We're back inside, and it's Taeyoung. The game has properly ground to a halt, though, it has to be said. Taeyoung sprinting along. As the infection just connects, thankfully. That will be close to an injury. It will be an injury. That's a complete dead end, unfortunately. So got to go around here. That does work. Oh, it's another dead end. This main building can be very ruinous. One of the more sneaky, annoying mains, I think, in Dead by Daylight. You're seeing it there. Taeyang just keeps on running. Might have given away a dying state here. No, gets the window. Good stuff from Plague. Could be... No, it can't be dead hard. Not been hooked yet. And that will be pain res, just in case that's important. There is... Okay, pain res hits on that gen, which is good news. It means that there's not another scary gen somewhere out there. Lara was kind of hanging around. Briefly saw them. Gonna go for Corrupt again. Not been getting a lot of value from it. It could be important here. Is there? That gen is fully regressed. Movement here. Someone was here recently, presumably Michaela, infecting the gen herself. But she's gone. She's out of there. Okay, gonna get the kick. There is Michaela. One Corrupt Purge. Oh, still an opportunity here. There it is, okay. And that gives Infectious Threat off to the right. So some intel on where she needs to go next. Make like she's not seen Lara. Of course she has. Injury there. An injury there. Simplicity itself. Is Taeyang here for the save? No. Alright, well all of a sudden, the game could be in its final moments. As Taeyang does get the unhook. As Michaela heads to the gen, probably wants to prioritize the chase with Taeyang at this stage in the game, rather than the death hook. Injured Michaela. So here's the chase. How's that for a moonwalk? Looking for some infection, doesn't quite get it. Michaela cures. Expecting a window move from Taeyang, doesn't quite work. There's the injury. There's the vault. Won't have too many more of those left. Might be going pallet here. No vaults again. Is the window blocked? Not yet. One more vault. Just kind of happy to brute force this if you Plague. Taeyang goes the wide line around Shack. Getting the kick there. He'll be looking to flee. They taking a very wide line here. This could be time for Corrupt Purge. Doubles back. Okay, looking for Shack again. Alright, well, one mistake from Taeyang and it's all over. They can make all the mistakes in the world. Taeyang can only make one. Fair play to him. He's kept play going here. But oh, the Corrupt doesn't quite connect. Through the window, maybe. Not quite. Not quite. What a shame. There he is. Living a charmed life. Has to be said, but the chase finally comes to a close. And there will be the hook. And the gem pops just as the hook's confirmed, so if you see Michaela, it could be game. However, she has got away. Now you've got to be a little bit cautious about Hatch if you Plague. She is, there's the unhook. Okay, just not quite finding a way of finishing this game off, unfortunately. So Michaela brings down the pallet and will presumably take chase. Trying to get the hook as close to Shack as possible so then you can deny Hatch as quickly as possible. Trying to get the infection out there. There is the full infection. Bit of hesitation on where to go. On the periphery, that should be all she wrote. As Tae Young now cures. Okay, gotta get to Shaq as quickly as possible. Should have a decent hook here that puts her in a good position to deny Hatch. Tae Young's been kind of hovering around Hatch. He understands where around Shaq, sorry. He understands that's where Hatch is going to be. In fact, there he is. Hatch. Denied. And where's he gone? Scratchmark's heading this way. Could not afford to lose him here. Well, you could afford to lose him, but it would be a bit annoying and the game would go on even longer. But has the Scratchmarks, and here is the final chase. Okay. We're not going to waste a snooze on this. Sorry, folks, the ads are going to run. This is just admin and cleanup at this point. But, I mean, a great game for Plague. They really made her work for it, especially towards the end. Oh, is the stopping of the Scratchmarks there, getting around the corner. Gets the infection. That will make things a little bit easier. Any infection there as well, close to the injury. Goes the wrong way there. There's the full infection, there's the injury, and one false move and it's all over. There's the vault. Doesn't vault back, keeps on moving. And eventually, after much toing and throwing, there's the dying state. GG. GG. The draw between Plague and Xenomorph, and what a way to wrap up Group A. So, Xenomorph with 50 hooks. The first killer to reach 50 hooks there. Very well-deserved win in Group A. Plague has actually done even better in terms of pure hooks here. 56 for her. That's actually absolutely astonishing. Incredible tournament for Plague. She is our second killer to qualify from Group A. If we go to the playoffs here, the runner-up in Group A will be the final round of 16 matchup, who will face the runner-up from Group B. Houndmaster still awaits her fate. Currently has third place. There'll be 2 third-place qualifiers from across all of the groups who will be differentiated based on points and then by hooks. 48 hooks and 7 points. It's unlikely to be enough, but she's got a chance as we go over to Group B. Very interesting group here. We start with Hag versus Trickster. Whoever wins might not be confirmed as qualified right now, but almost certainly will be making the playoffs. If it's a draw, that really confuses things. And it probably wouldn't be enough for either to be a draw. So someone needs to win this matchup. And it starts here. Suffocation Pit. Hag. Very simple. Get a 4K. Get a 4K. Give yourself every chance of securing this victory that could send you through to such an unlikely round of 16 position after such concerning, difficult games for Hag. That would be a real upset. And she is hugely incentivized here. A golden opportunity for her. With this big totem build that she's looking to defend with traps as soon as possible. Would love to hear which gem is being worked upon early. Okay, so Jill was following. Took the trap, stands and watches as there goes a totem, but it's a dying state. What happened there then? They specifically went to activate the trap. And there's the DC. What a gift for Hag. Wow. And the stars might be aligning for her here. This is a huge opportunity. A massive opportunity to take advantage of a really, really, really advantageous situation as the unhook on the bot. The bot is actually going to be faster than the Hag after the unhook, if you can believe such a thing. But Hag, I mean, a golden opportunity here to turn this into a 3-survivor situation really early on. The only thing about that, which is maybe a bit unfortunate, is as that's potential energy. You do not want to let them get a potential energy situation out there. Here, Carlson with potential energy will lose all of those charges with an M1. They do not drop. They wait until the trap's down and then they drop the pallet. Fascinating. Over to the Z wall now. Trapping up the Z wall. Hag understanding the power that this tile can hold. And there's the injury. Okay. That's a useful injury to get there. It just prevents a little bit of gem progress down the line. That's important. However, the only thing is the totems have been moved. Oh, there's a dying state. Wow. That is a bit of a gift. Another hook opportunity here. And then the bot behind. And Tori Kane in front. Carefully the scene. Where did this bot go? Right there. And will this be an injury? No, it'll be Shack Pallet gone. There's the unhook. There's the first stack of Devour Hope. Devour Hope's still in play. But the bot has Shack. And for any other killer, that'd be a dream come true. For Hag, that's actually a little bit concerning. There's the teleport. There's the injury. Okay. The bot a little bit indecisive. Could be dead hard here. Nope, dying state. Okay. Second hook for the bot. 4 gens left. Alan looking for the save. Gets it. And the totem cleansed all the way by Shack. I mean, this is gutting for Hag. And Champion of Light as if Hag needed any more hindrance in a situation like this. As the bot now gets easily to the pallet. Doesn't drop it. Fascinating. Doesn't drop it again. Alright, well there is your dying state. Finally, second hook on the bot. And the pop a trap down as well. Try and secure this kill as quickly as possible. Right. Tough situation for Hag here. Ruin is still active. Devour Hope is gone. And the gens are flying. As there goes Nia. And there goes Alan. Okay. Teleport there. Alan just hanging around. Deary me, and if ever you were wondering why Hag can be such a difficult killer to do really anything with, whiffs like that are a big part of the reason why. That is gutting for Hag. And this is still a golden opportunity, but just not quite finding the inroad that she needs. There's the vault. It should be the dying state. Barring dead hard. Okay. There's the eventual Surgical Locker. Alan will not be able to get a blind on this, try as he might. And that'll be second hook stage for Nia. Okay. A real opportunity here. Trap down again, moving away. No gem movement here as Alan has fled in this direction. Really needing to find Jill right now. Really needing a situation in which the bot isn't just able to sit on the gen and move the game further away from Hag. Cheeky little bit of undying aura reading there, perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe it was something else. But anyway, trap here. The bot actually staying perfectly away from it, which is somewhat annoying. There's a teleport opportunity. There's a dying state. And Alan is around as well. There he is. Okay. Dying state there. As they go for the Sabo. They go for the Sabo, and if Alan isn't here for the save, that's an instant kill. Oh my dearie me, what has gone on there? What on earth has gone on there? Just like that, 2 survivors left. Huge. I don't know if they were done with the game, if it was just a mental error from Nia Carlson, but that is extraordinary, and what a gift for Hag as a gen does pop. A sobering reminder that the game is not over yet, as there is the abandonment, or the DC, definitely the DC from Nia Carlson. They can't believe what they've done, and neither can I. As there's Alan, just gets healed by Tori, who may be hanging around here, yes. So injury on Tori Kane. And things might be moving in Hag's direction in a major way right now. They're heading to Shaq. There is a trap on Shaq. Do they see it? Do they see it? They do not. It's a dying state. Just incredible from Hag. It's all going right for her. Things are looking up and up and up for Hag. And for the Hag team. Gonna trap the ever-loving hell out of this hook. No doubt about it. Doesn't want to give anything away here. Would love to find Alan. Would love to discover Alan. Down the way. Far away from the hook. Maybe heard breathing there, but no such things as Alan does get the unhook, but Tori hits second stage. Dying state for Alan. Tori's still here, looking for the pallet, not gonna get it. 15 seconds between Hag and a famous 4K. Going for the heal, wanted the pallet, went for the heal instead. It's a dying state. And that is absolutely sensational. It is assuming no sudden nasty surprises. And do watch out for Hatch, which could still be in play for Alan. It is going to be... Bloody hell. It is going to be the 4K, as Alan was crawling directly to where Hatch was going to spawn. 4K for Hag. She's clutched up exactly when she needed to. GG. That is sensational. Right. Now, let's have a look at what that means for Trickster. Hold on, because what are the hooks like here? Trickster has 3 more hooks than Hag. So, with a 4K, Hag will not be qualified necessarily. We'll need to do some maths. Anything less than a 4K for Trickster, Hag is basically through to the playoffs, which would be such a massive surprise. How's Hag done this? Got the win 7-5 against Clown, got the win 12-4 against Wraith, so a really awful start to the tournament, but then just finding a way of eking out the wins, and now on the very precipice of the round of 16. Oof, Trickster on Trickster's delusion. Usually, I'd say home field advantage. I'm not going to say that here. Trickster is a killer who does not do well on his own map, especially if you find yourself taking too many chases around this area right here. Was that actually a little bit of gem movement there? No. Hearing things now is Trickster. There is a bit of gem movement here. Maybe that was what he heard, possibly being a bit charitable there. Right, it's the opening chase. Ace ducks into the nightclub. Just the 2 blades, looking for more there. Looking for a little bit more from that. Only 1 more, just incrementally moving along the... What happened? Hold on. Got really confused there, the Trickster, by that whole situation. Whoa, what? Okay, well, here's Tae Young. Very confusing, not really sure where Ace went. Just, I lost him, it's that simple. There's 1, 2 again. Not getting quite the blades that you need to be getting if you're Trickster here. And Taeyong keeps on moving. Maybe he gets ahead of himself and doesn't see what Trickster's going for here. That's exactly what happens. Big opportunity here. There's the injury. Okay, needed that. Probably have to get the reload here. It's a brave Trickster who takes a chase while without blades, as Taeyong is not looking behind him. So another play like that could be in the works here. Not quite. Not quite. Taeyong just holds up and has the awareness to double back here. And when I said that Trickster's home map isn't much good for him, this is exactly what I was talking about. One blade there, but one blade ain't going to do it. And this is, I mean, everything is going the way of the hag right now. It really is her lucky day, it seems. Moving around Shack. Brings the pallet down. Getting the kick. Oh. Okay. Trickster is not actually holding the blade up here. This is an animation bug. And the baseball bat has gone. Okay, well hopefully that doesn't have any mechanical impact on this game, but it does, you know, it's not what you want to be seeing, is it? One blade there connects. 2, 3, just has a doorway there. Oh, and the baseball bat's back. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wondered where that had gone. 2 gens remaining. This is heinous. This is absolutely heinous. Oh, but there's a fog vial. And through a fog vial, all things are possible for a killer. Well, well-timed little D rank there. Really needs to kick on here and get something going. Reloading, coming back, Nia Coulson here. You need Tae Young, you need that dying state. But Tae Young's probably already fled the scene. All committed to this pallet. Here he goes. This is just painful. Painful for Trickster. Painful for Trickster fans. But absolutely magnificent. Absolutely magnificent for Hag and for fans of the Hag. And this is a situation where, is Trickster going to go hookless? Not just finding a way of losing Tae Young just in time for the laceration meter to decay. There's been no hookless games so far. This might be it right now. So there's Killer Instinct, there's main event. Opportunity here, perhaps. Opportunity here, perhaps. 1, 2. 1 away. 1 away. It should be a hook. It will be a hook. There goes the last 2 gens. It's just one of those games. It's just one of those games, folks. But he won't be going hookless. But what a sad way for Trickster to presumably leave the tournament, having done such a good job, looking really dominant in the early stages here. But it's all fallen apart for him. It's all fallen apart. No Way Out's still active and not tapped the gates yet. Looking for an opportunity to get main event out there. Just gonna do it, but I mean, no one to go after here. Maybe an opportunity to put some pressure on the unhook. Gets a few blades on Ace. That will do something. That will be kind of helpful. There's the injury. Ace turning the corner. Just, it is laughable how bad Trickster's own map is for him. Not that the Killer's map has to necessarily be fantastic for them, but my god, in every respect, it is just appalling. Has to reload here. In a time it takes to reload, Ace Visconti may have fled the scene. No, sticking around the tile. Fancying himself on this tile is Ace. Knew the pallet burn was going to happen, but powerless to resist it in the end. In the open field, there's still an opportunity here. These blades have to start connecting, though. And they just aren't. And they just aren't. It is a 99 gate. Hold on just a second. Laughable. Laughable game for Trickster. One of those, if you don't laugh, then you are bound to cry. And it's a one-hook game. Is Tae Young looking to rub a little bit of salt in the wound? It seems like it. Some sort of consolation. He can at least shut hatch here. Where's Taeyong then? What's going on here? Are we on the line? Are we doing a crouch? Are we doing something of that ilk? I find it hard to believe that Taeyong has not found a way to get to one of these gates. Okay, heals up, gets healthy, and then escapes.
Oh.
I know, Trickster, I know. It's been an unfortunate game. And Taeyong finds the gate and then leaves. Thank you so much. GG, one hook, the worst performance of the tournament so far. 12-1. Let's see what that does for Group B. So Hag gets the win. 42 hooks to her name. Trickster loses. 34 hooks to his name, and he is out. Trickster, after a good start, did have top spot for a little bit in Group B, I think. Yeah, got the win. And then a 5-3 victory over Executioner, but then lost to Ghosty, lost to Wraith, and now an excruciating loss to Hag. Hag has not necessarily confirmed a playoff spot yet, mathematically, but almost certainly has. 9 points, I find it really hard to see how 9 points will not end up being enough. Let's do like a mid-group sorting of the table here. Hang on. Yes, Ghosty is through. Confirmed. Because if Executioner were to get the win, it would bump both Ghosty and Hag down, but Ghosty would still be second place. So, Ghosty's through. Hag isn't yet necessarily, but I would say 99% chance that Hag is also through. Clown is out right here. But Clown can end on a high by defeating an extraordinary Ghostface, who has already clinched a playoff position, but would like to get the win and take the whole group here. Almond Lake Mine for Clown. And away he goes. Been a very lackluster tournament for Clown. Would have been one of the favourites going in, just hasn't showed up. Looking for one last hurrah to please the fans here and to leave the tournament on a high. As he's going to chase Cheryl here, who does not head upstairs, stays downstairs. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Slowness bottle. Is this too ambitious of a line from Clown here? Does Cheryl maybe pre-vault? No. Wise work from her. Has he got to go elsewhere? Possibly. Oh, never mind. Never mind, there's a chase. Runs through the pallet. Takes the dying state. Okay. Simplicity itself in the end. Thank God he stuck with it just that little bit longer. There's that Bamboozle as well. Almond Lake Mine, not a great map for Bamboozle. You got Shack. You've got this vault down here that could be important for Bamboozle. Other than that, maybe not the best. It's no Larry's. Okay. Gem movement right here. It's a quick unhook. Been a lot of quick unhooks so far this tournament. There's another one. Just going to get the haste. Try and find the scratch marks here, as there's the aura reading. Trying to get Slowness Bottle through the window. Another one there for good measure. Should be the pallet. Getting dropped. Kick. Okay, good line taken there. Clown's off elsewhere. And those scratch marks, huh? What a pity. Clown rocking the garish makeup kit. That's been nerfed. That does give aura reading when invigorated, but at a much, much shorter range than it did previously. And I think you're seeing how unimpactful, relatively, that add-on is. With some of these misses and some of these lacks of aura reading here. Setting up in the pallet, going to try and get a haste. Gets it. Chef goes around, takes the injury. Takes a very confusing line. That'll be hook number 2. Not sure what was going on there. Just a bit of panic there. Didn't expect Clown to take the line that he did. Takes the 1-2 hit and a welcome hook for Clown. We get back to this gen. This is the scariest gen as far as he's aware so far. Actually, fully regressed. Okay, amazing work. Fair bit of movement here. Well worth a kick. Get the benefit of the haste thereafter. Still no aura reading. It could be a locker play. It could be a locker play. There's a couple of lockers there. And Clown more interested in just keeping on the patrol at this point. Is there Cheryl? They get the kick and they get on. No, it's hide as well. Plenty of aura reading here for Clown. Just a matter of utilising it. Overshot that slowness bottle there. Getting the speed bottle back in the tile. Should force the pallet burn. It will. There's the kick, there's the blind, or at least the attempt gets it. Goes back out to Cheryl. Really needs to find a way of putting someone under some pressure here. The game's been going on a while. There could very easily be a couple of gens popping soon. Speed bottle there. Cheryl shouldn't get the benefit. Clown will. And, doesn't quite make that an injury, alas. At least it's Shack Pallet gone. Might have to cut this off and get back on these gens, you know. That may have gone on too long. He says as Clown gets right back on the chase. There's gen movement. Okay. It's Sheva moving that gen. Potentially an eruption hit in the near future. Let's make sure that he can close down this chase, Clown. That will be the M1. No pallet here. Huge opportunity, but you need a dying state in max 10 seconds if you're likely to get any eruption value. That's an appalling bottle. Oh, and it's potentially Shadow Step out there as well. Never saw what was going on there. No bottles left either. Window vault there. It is Bamboozle, but the damage may have been done. Gotta move on. Okay, good play from Sheva. However, opportunity here. And he felt like that had to be a dying state, didn't it? Oh, never mind. There you go. Okay. So, Eruption is out there on that gen. There's big gem movement just to the right. That's worthy of a Pop Goes the Weasel kick any day of the week. Alright, well, it's amazing how... well, I was going to say how slowly the gens have gone. One was bound to pop eventually, and one does pop over there. Having said that, I mean, other killers have not had even this luxury. Other killers have had situations where the gens have popped almost immediately. Is there the injury? It's actually the wrong bottle there, looking for the speed bottle, doesn't get it. Looking for the hit, not quite getting that either, alas. Coming around here, getting the benefit of the speed bottle. Gets the dying state, okay. Needed that, needed that. Another hook. Alright, no jet movement over there. There was plenty over here. This gen is likely to be moving quite a lot, especially with that gen having popped and the survivors presumably moving this way. Okay. Cheryl was here. Won't be able to get it. Flees the scene, but this is a good bit of game management here from Clown. Bringing this game back little by little. There she goes. Drops down. Not a bad little mind game. Should allow the M1 here. We do have a pallet. Should drop. Slowness bottle still up there. They're going to vault. No, that'll be the M1. As they flee that pallet, I hope they know what they're doing. They've got another one here. The speed bottle right out there. Then trying to be a little bit, trying to mind game it a little bit. That was interesting. It was a misdirect with the speed bottle. That's the last stand, but that's not going to do anything there. That was a misdirect with the speed bottle. And what that is also very, very annoying. It's the locker bug. The locker bug means that you can't search a locker immediately, which actually lets Adam get away with whatever the hell he was trying to get away with there. Incredibly frustrating, just one of the many bugs currently in this game that Behaviour have not saw fit yet to fix. As here's what goes Weasel Kick. Maybe someday this game will be functional. By the way, Carnival Hunt releases today, doesn't it? Anyway. Some competition, fancy that. Gem movement down here. Actually, no, barely any at all. None at all, in fact, because there's the unhook. 2 gens left. No movement there either. Okay, this is good news. The Boon's back, and we know what it is. We know it's Shadow Step. There's Adam, and that'll be the M1. Again, takes a slightly strange line. Big opportunity here. Slowness bottle does connect. That will be the vault. They're going to run around another slowness bottle there. I don't see them making the pallet again. They do have their towers. Fair enough. So I'm trying to take a hit here. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. And that will be the plot twist for the hook. Is there someone here for a torch save? No. Great. There's someone here for an awful protection hit. Great. Runs away, but a huge opportunity now for Clown, assuming he can find them again, which he just can't, unfortunately. Not sure where they've gone. As there is gen movement here. Though not a huge amount of it, has to be said. Okay, Cheryl right here. There's Last Stand again. Fails to connect, and Cheryl's in trouble now. It's Shadow Step. Shadow Step maybe isn't doing as much for them as they would hope it is. This is presumably Decisive Strike, but this at least denies them the heal from Plot Twist, so may as well play into that. And still with that 2-gem buffer, this is a chase that you can go after for sure. Remember, Dead Hard is in play. You're going to be waiting out as much as possible. They'll go through the pallet. No, they won't. They'll burn the pallet. Fair enough. Had to swing. They had the pallet. Thankfully for Clown, they just hesitated too much, but Cheryl has the perfect line for the torch. What a shame. These 2 Death Hook survivors really helping one another out here. And the stun connects despite the angle that Clown has, which I find quite surprising. All right, back in the chase. Have to find a way of turning this into a 2-survivor situation. There is Dead Hard denied. There's the Dying State looking into the crate. Shouldn't be an angle for the torch save. And there's Last Stand. Fair enough. Hey, at least you know what they're doing. Credit to them. Like Chekhov's gun, Last Stand was set up time and time again, and it comes through for them there. Thankfully for Clown. No angle found on the tile. Going for the pickup again, but then denying Cheryl this attempt at a pallet save. They are around here. Alright. So get around to the pallet. They'll have to drop here. As it'll be CJ Tech. There's a Dying State. And now, as a gem pops, will it finally be the 2-survivor situation? It looks like it. Okay. Times like this, you're very grateful you had 2 people not moving gens. So Clown's still very much in this. They're going to go for the heal. Not quite going to get it. Could be the injury. It won't be, unfortunately. So they also have Last Stand. Worth testing the waters, right? No. So, 2 survivors left. Now, if you're Clown, you really want to find Fun. Who, if they escape, Clown loses out on 3 hooks. You want to get every single hook state you can get. As Sheva, unfortunately, is able to commit to that gen. That's a shame. That's a shame, because now it's a game patrol situation. And these are very good gates. And there is... Unfortunately, it looks like shit. No, it isn't. It's Feng Min. Great. Great. Okay, the exact chase you wanted here. This may also keep Sheva in the game as they try and protect their friend. I'm going to do so immediately. Okay, music to Clown's ears here. Absolute music to Clown's ears. You want to be going after Fung. You also want the injury on Sheva. You get both for the price of one. That's nice. Going to go for the hook, and Sheva should not have had time to get on any gate at all. So this could still be really, really good for Clown. Still a chance of a 4K here. Is this a gate? They won't get out. Could be dead hard. No. 4K. Well played from Clown there. Not getting rattled by the nonsense. Going about his business. And now Ghosty needs the 4K to secure top spot in Group B. GG. Ghosty in the pizzeria. Just a superb tournament from him so far. Looking to take top spot in Group B. He does that very simply with a 4K. Is there's the reveal from Jonathan? Okay. Might not be too worried about that. Might still take this chase and try and get the injury here, and he will. Although, are you just going to hold Jonathan here until Night Shroud is back? 99, okay. That might have to be enough. Was just wondering whether Ghosty would be able to get the full exposed and then take the chase. It would have been worth it to do so. Still at least has the 99 for later on. There's the injury and the pallet. You love that if you're Ghosty. Okay. This is what he's done really well at. Just getting more... rinsing every little bit of value from every excursion here. As he's going to try a stealth play here to try and catch Dwight out around this corner of the pizzeria, and it's not really worked. It kind of has worked, actually. It kind of has worked. As Dwight runs through. There's exposed on Jonathan. That's exactly what he needed. Great stuff. Is Dwight just hanging around here? Hold on just a second, because there could be even more here for Ghosty. Maybe trying to get Sprint Burst back here? There's your dying state. Unbelievable. Okay, back for Jonathan. Great start for Ghosty. Looking at the crane machine, hoping for no torch save through the window. It doesn't happen. And that'll be 2 hooks for the price of 1 gen. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Trying back for Dwight. Oh, who gets recovered alas by Steve. That is a shame. That is a real shame. Looking to deny the reveal. How that isn't a mark, I will never understand, but Steve gets away somehow. Okay. Can clearly see the head, the shoulders, part of the torso, but apparently that's not a mark. So Ghosty has to accept that and move on, as there's Dwight, who caught him from a long distance there, but hasn't left the area. Gives away Killer Instinct. Sprint Burst, which is good enough to get him to a window. Decent enough move there. Going for the quick vault. Unbelievably gets it. What a shame. I think he's just not going the way of Ghosty so far, it seems. Trying to go for the little swing through the pallet. Doesn't connect. Keeping on Dwight here. Medium vault there. Not vaulting back again. There's Jonathan back on the pallet. Should be a dying state here. It will be. Gets the kick. Mr. Grimes? Hello? Alright. Not sure what that was all about. But regardless, it's a hook. It's just a very confusing situation all around. Not much I can add to that. Right, hook here. So it is gem movement. It's Steve, who is very close to full exposed. There is the exposed. Big opportunity. Massive opportunity here. Gets around. Does he get the pallet? Does, unfortunately. Kicking here. On this corner. Doesn't vault. And that will be the dying state, as there's the unhook behind. Okay, shouldn't be any kind of... Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes, you mustn't make such plays in your big hat. Your big hat is going to be your undoing time and time again. Hook there. Dwight. Sprint burst to get away. Okay, really wants to get the benefit of the other hook here, and will. So one hook for everyone. There goes the unhook over there. And it is possibly clean break for Steve. Would make a bit of sense there. Not amazing from Ghosty. Would have looked for a little bit more of a mark there on Jonathan. As Steve does get healed. Oh! And there's Dwight. Runs through, looking for the window, gets it. A little bit of a moonwalk there. Will that do the business? Nope. Heading back, not too worried about the double window tile there. How much mark can you get out here? 99 Rick, 99 Steve. This is massive. Probably going to go after Steve here and just waiting really for the Night Shroud to pass. Is all that you're doing in this situation. Is that sprint burst to get away? Okay. As Dwight gets sprint burst back as well. Just a cavalcade of sprint burst. Wonderful, skillful gamers. Rick Grimes. Sorry. Has the pallet. Pushed away from the window. It's a damn shame. Damn shame there. And Steve going to run interference. Night Shroud going to be back pretty soon, so there should be 2 exposed parties in front. Brilliant work, Steve. Really, really good. Dying state there. And make like to pick it up, then go around. Oh, it just gets caught on the stovetop. This should be. Rick Grimes has done something extraordinary there. He has gifted Ghosty another couple of dying states. Is it going to be the pallet save here? No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Rick Grimes has done it again. And he's just finding a way of getting lots of value from these situations. Is it going to be an angle here for a torch save? No. Been pretty quick unhooks so far. Will there be another quick unhook here? Jonathan's hanging around. Big opportunity for Pop Goes the Weasel to the left as well. Jonathan Byers has just used Shoulder the Burden. So Jonathan Byers is exposed. Will he see what Ghosty's doing here? No, he does not. Shoulder the Burden, Jonathan Byers, assuming that the hook goes through. That is the first domino toppling. Are they going to go for some body blocks here? Steve's out of there. There's the hook. Marvellous stuff. Nowhere to hide. So important for that play as well. They're going to get a heal? Yes. What a shame. Go after the only injured party, I suppose, here. Steve has the pallet, unfortunately. So there's the kick. Still 3 gens left, only 3 survivors left now, and this has just been a lot of silliness handled pretty well in the end by Ghosty. Drops the pallet, that should be the dying state, could be dead hard. No. And unless there's another save here. What is your deal? What's your problem, bud? Hook there. The moonwalks are nice. Like, general game awareness is even nicer, I'd suggest. Right, heading over here for a Pop Goes Weasel kick. Sorry. Get the kick here. And as they vault, just get as much stalk out there as you can. Keep Dwight away from the hook. Keep Rick away from the hook. Dwight has to take a kind of circuitous path here if he's going to make anything happen. Rick's right there. Dwight's going to head around the main building. Won't quite be the exposed. Ghosty knows his business. Yeah, Dwight's just going to emerge around here and isn't going to go for the unhook. Wonderfully enough. Drops the pallet. Is Rick Grimes going to move in? No, it'll force Dwight to actually take the trade here, unbelievably. Dying state there. It's the one person who can afford to take the hook, but maybe they would have liked to have done that without trading. Hook here. And then all of a sudden, you got Rick Grimes. There he is. Lovely hat. You got Steve Harrington. They're both moonwalking. And Rick Grimes running headlong away from the hook. Just going to make sure the Pop Goes the Weasel is out there. There's the exposed status. Steve running away from the hook. Rick running away from the hook. Rick running towards Steve. Both away from the hook. Phenomenal stuff. There's the vault. Runs back in. Steve going to try as well. Steve looking to get into the building. Going to be pushed away. Ghosty circling around. Just looking to make this a two-survivor situation at this stage. So there's only really one opportunity now for Steve, and it's going the way that Dwight also went around here. Can Ghosty meet Steve around the corner? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there he is. Nice take there. Is Rick going to get the unhook? No. And just like that, it is a hatch game. Can Ghosty get there in time? Yes, likely to be able to do so. Can Ghosty get the hook over here is maybe a more pressing question. And the answer to that, also yes. So they're in their animation. Hopefully no chance that they can reveal Ghosty. Hatch should spawn here. Assuming he can shut it. He can. There's Rick. There's the injury. There's the dying state. GG. 4K Ghosty. He wins Group B. What a tournament it's been for him. Well done. Okay. 12-12. So Ghosty, his first draw of the campaign. Good enough for Group B. Clown never got in the win column. Kind of unlucky. A healthy hook total of 48 there. Just not able to convert that into any victories. So now we have the final Group B matchup. Wraith versus Executioner. A Wraith victory would eliminate Executioner. An Executioner victory would eliminate Wraith. And an Executioner victory would also relegate Hag to 3rd place. She would still have a chance of qualification, but she would not be instantly qualified. Executioner is through with a win. Cold wins for Wraith, who is playing for his World Cup life here. Needs the victory to have even a slim chance here. Oh, there's an immediate bit of intel. Oh, look at that, a sprint burst. Okay, away they go. Sprint burst, a regular feature of these games. And there's Ace Visconti as well out there. It's Fung Min, it's the injury. As they are going to stay on Country, okay. You try and get ahead and stop them getting the vault, won't be able to. Can you stop them getting the pallet? Won't be able to. Looking for pallet stun here. Okay, so at least Cowtree gone, or at least the pallet beneath Cowtree is gone. There's the kick. And probably going to head elsewhere now. Okay, it is what it is. Not an ideal start, but the start that Wraith has made. Decent awareness from Ace. Should still be the injury here. Or it'll be close. Yep, no, the pallet gained. There's bloodstains. Fung Min is hanging around here, it seems. Alright, well, anyway, there's the kick. And the middle gem pops over here. That is a shame. And you sometimes get the sense of how tough these games are going to be. And that's a very tough opening. However, finds a way of finally closing down that chase and getting the dying state. But another gem pops. I mean, that is something that you didn't anticipate, and that is rather gutting. So presumably that's where David has just been plying his trade and committing to the gen. Damn shame. Damn shame as Ace continues to work on this one. Bit of a dead zone in this corner, at least, especially now that the Country pallet is gone. So there's the injury. Gonna cloak up again. Try and stop them getting to Shaq. Not gonna be able to. Gonna try and cut ahead of them to deny window. And gonna be able to, so this will be pallet gone. Oh my god, you've let Ace get off the hook with that one. Oh, Wraith just assuming that that would be a pallet burn. It isn't. Showing the red stain coming back. They double vault. No, in fact, Jake's in the area now. Quick vault there. Doesn't happen. Should be the dying state. It is just. And maybe another injury. No, just going to take the hook. Just going to take the hook here. And it is basement, in fact. Jake's hanging around looking for a potential Sabo. Hold on. Injury there. Okay, trying to do something. Not entirely sure what. Maybe a quick unhook behind the back of Wraith. Doesn't quite work out. And Jake now needs to find a way of getting away from Shaq. Because otherwise, the basement unhook is going to be a really, really difficult thing to make happen. And in fairness, he does. There's Fang as well. He takes the injury. Does Jake want to move back in for the save? Looks like it, right? Someone else. Dave is there for the unhook. So every good situation is just being countered in the exact annoying way from Wraith. What a frustrating game this is turning into. Injury on Dave. Okay, everyone injured is a really good situation to have, as Dave will finally bring down Shaq Pallet. Could this be the snowball? As Jake's hanging around. Oh, does he come back? No, he doesn't. He just runs away. Okay, damn shame. Damn shame. There's still some pretty hefty gem movement here. Jake fleeing. David right here. Ace right here. 2 injured parties. Big opportunity. There's dying state on Dave. Okay. I think in the chaos of all the survivors around, actually allowed that play to happen. No one quite sure of where everyone else was supposed to be. So, Paymers, hopefully before this gen completes. That'd be the aim. Jake is really trying for these Sabo plays. Paymers does connect here. Jake flees in this direction. Window here. He gets it. Big gem movement here. Feng Min, the injured party. Sprint burst to get away. Got a cloak up here, you'd imagine. Okay, uncloaking onto the pallet. That's so important. Feng tries to flee and will not quite be able to. Joust. It was closer than you would have liked. Gotta imagine that Jake will be thinking about a save, but maybe he doesn't get here in time. Okay. This is scary though. 2-gen game and 2 gens moving at pace. There's a plot twist somewhere out there. Tough to know where. So there goes the gen. And there's Jake. Gonna try and get ahead of Jake, get ahead of the window. That pushes him away from Shaq. That's good. And this could be the dying state here, barring Dead Hard. Oh, the locker search is working now. Wonderful. So, and a very, very important Paymer stack with 1 gen left. There's scratch marks heading this way. So they were presumably going in for the unhook. There's Ace Visconti. And there is some gen commitment from Dave. Takes the injury. Gets away. And we'll have just enough distance to get the window here. Maybe panics and vaults. No. Just too aware for this stuff here from Wraith. Nothing really going his way right now. Has to get this gem regressing. And it is a perfectly awful 3-gen as well. It literally could not be worse. There's a little bit of movement here. This is one that Ace is moving. Should be the injury. It will be. Just finding it tough to get the right location. That's live. Live to get away there. And it feels like it's this chase or nothing for Wraith. It's that vicious swing. It at least gets the pallet out there. There's your last gen. It was that pressure point off to the left. It was adrenaline for Ace as well. No Way Out is in effect, and it is 4 stacks. Will that be enough? There's still a lot of work to do. Okay, no pallet on the cow tree. Going to get another injury over all the way around here. Have 2 survivors to go after. Is Jake maybe a bit more fallible in loop than Ace, possibly? Got to run him around this way, and that should be enough there. Could be dead hard, maybe? Alright. And that's a DC from Dave. Now, that is very interesting, the DC from Dave. Gotta be unintentional, considering how the game is looking, broadly speaking. As No Way Out will just pass. A survivor will likely be on the gate immediately. Here's Dave, here's the bot, here's Ace Visconti. Is Fung also here? No. A real shame. We'd have loved to have seen all 3 survivors. Because now Fung could be on the other gate, opening that, getting the unhook. Could be worth just going for the bot here in the hopes of a relatively easy dying state. Sometimes it's not easy against the bots. Other times, something like this happens. And it's very easy indeed. We get hard. So gonna get the hook on Dave, but then that probably is gonna be all she wrote for this one. They're likely to be getting the other gate, and they're obviously not going to be sticking around for a bot. Or likely not to be sticking around for a bot. All the way over there, quickly as possible. Gate's open, but it's the other one. That's a real surprise. No progress on this gate whatsoever. Are they actually going to save the bot? Is the question. Wraith probably wants them to. Ace leaves. Seems unlikely that Jake and Fung are going to make a play here. Fung leaves, and Jake will also leave. So that is a total of 8 hooks for Wraith. Against Executioner, who has been fallible, it could be enough. Who knows? Alright, Executioner. 9 hooks. And he is through to the round of 16. Hag is still in a strong position, but will need to wait and see if she is also through. 8 hooks or fewer. Hag's through, confirmed. And I forget what that means otherwise. But basically, 9 hooks is needed for Executioner. 9 hooks. Has to be there for him. As there is... Oh, look at that, sprint burst. Could the M2 be out there? RPD kind of tough for Executioner. Different verticality, different ranges. Lots of easy ways of denying the M2, denying the trail. Opportunity here. Just a little bit cautious, maybe a bit too cautious with the M2 there. Maybe could have been more cautious, as they do easily dodge that. So I'm going to try and get out of this room, are they? Nope. Oh, almost put that a bit too far to the right, but in the end, gets the cage, gets the dying state, gets the pallet, and now back to the business of the gens. Good stuff. Remembering to put as much trail down as possible. You've already seen why the trail can be quite so impactful. Alright, so first kick. Quentin over here. Just gonna take this chase and then come back, because there is someone out here who may well be moving in for the gen. Yep, it's Ada. Good injury there. Good stuff. Good awareness, seeing the survivor outside, making use of the Trail of Torment there. As they try and move in for the gen. They won't quite get it. There's the cage. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. That keeps Ava away. Could the M2 be on? Oh, just barely missing the M2 there. As the cage does move. Okay, that could be good. That could be bad. Still a chance of eruption to the left there as well, as they will vault. The gen is not going to pop imminently. There's a torment. There's a dying state. There's eruption. And there's the cage. A cage for an uncage. The uncage happening just upstairs over there. Still wants to keep this gen on side, so going to go after Quentin. Has he stopped the gen regressing? He has. Another kick will go out there. And now it's the chase. Just getting the trail out there. And they actually don't want to step in the trail, so they will avoid the pallet, head elsewhere. Big opportunity here. Pre-dropping this pallet. Wow, great pallet to get out in a 5-gen situation. With very little in the way of value gained from it. They do drop down. Oh, injury there. May also be an injury here, you know. Good dodge. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Coming back, because you can get the kick and you can get eruption out here if you're executioner. You've seen how important that can be. As it's a DC from Quentin Smith. Didn't want any more to do with this game. There goes the pallet. Runs through the trail. Gen's still regressing. Survivor off over there as well. More trail. Oh my goodness me. Like a water slide right there. Not sure what that was all about. Right, so if this could be a quick dying state, it could be eruption. Again, on the lobby gen, it will be. Kick here, very important. Quentin is leaving the scene. This could be a cage. There's no reason to hook. Ah, whatever. Hooking right there, why not? It's almost as quick. As there's Trail of Torment again. Off in the corner. There's been plenty around there as Quentin. Could the M2 have been on the table? Possibly, possibly. Burns pallet takes the injury. Good M2 from Executioner. It's a bot, by the way. It is the bot, so bear that in mind. Bot's going to play things in. Maybe a bit of a stranger way than otherwise. It will be a cage. 4 hook states. For the avoidance of doubt, cages do count as hook states, by the way. 4 hook stages, and not a single gen has been completed. This is extraordinary. Is this a survivor? Ednalita hanging around, really trying to get, I guess, value from Sprint Burst there, but put herself in a really tough spot here. There's a dying state. And DS. Not against a cage. So, 5 hook states at the 5-gen spot. There does finally go that gen. However, Jane Romero is in trouble now. Executioner looking to close the game right here, right now. Not even going to kick that gen. Looking for the M2. Looking to deny the window. And does! And does! So it's just a flurry of cages. What an incredible game it's been so far. Alright, heading over here to where the uncages continue. There is the uncage. Right there. Ooh, they took a moment. They took a moment to see what was going on. Almost didn't get away at all. Yep, there's Quentin. Okay, there's the bot. Out of nowhere. Boom, there he is. And they both get away. With some distance. 2. Dropping down here. Zeta runs into this room and keeps on going. How's this looking? Not bad. And that should be... Buying Dead Heart. Should be the dying state. Okay. 3-gen game, plenty of hooks. This will be hook number 7. Right on the precipice of that 8th hook. The 8th hook will confirm that Wraith is eliminated. Any hooks beyond that will also confirm that Executioner is through. So, it's all over, bar the crying for Wraith. Are we about to see confirmation of that here? There's the M1. There's the basement unhook. Still 3 gens left, still feeling good. Is Executioner. But as long as there's 4 survivors in a trial, you can never be too confident. Oof. Good stuff from Jane, however. That will be that. And with this hook, Wraith is eliminated. It currently is 8-8 to the draw. 1 point apiece, not enough for Wraith, so Wraith is gone. Executioner still has work to do. Needs 1 more hook to get 2nd place and a guaranteed spot in the round of 16. Still 3 gens. 3 gens to play with here. Oh, well, 2 gens. Here you go. Is this going to be balanced? It won't be. There's the M1. It's overcome from Ada, so they get some... Is it? They got a lot of distance there. Closing down the gap. Seems unlikely that Ada's going to find a way to escape here. Oof, oof, oof. Just holding W, not changing path at all. That'll be the dying state. That'll be the mini-Mori, and that will be Executioner in the round of 16 confirmed. Wraith is eliminated, as we said. Hag still has a chance of qualification, but will now have to rely on the strongest 3rd place finish. So we will wait and see with regards to Hag and how she is going to be doing in this tournament. So there goes Gen. 1-gen game. There's Quentin. There's the bot. Nothing really to play for apart from hook differential, which can be important for the group stages in future tournaments. So with eyes on the future, Nemesis will continue here. And no dying state. The bots can be so good at denying the M2s in that way. Cheeky little crouch there. Which may have actually lost Quentin the chase right now. Alright. Dying state for Quentin. They get the cage out there. Whoa. Down he goes. Down he goes, and presumably the remaining survivor is going to want to let the bot perish to aid their search for a hatch. Never mind. Alita getting the uncage on the bot. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. Get those blood points, I suppose. So the game's not over yet. The uncage out here. Presumably heading off in this direction. There's the heal. And we go all over again. It'll be another chase, presumably with the bot. M1 there. In a situation where the hook differential was more important, you probably would prioritize the human being before the bot, hoping that the bot would be easier to predict in a hatch situation. When it doesn't matter all that much, Executioner is just going to take whatever hook is available. Nice quick chase to the bot. Can Alita find hatch? Or is Executioner going to shut the door on any chance of any escapes? Oh, there you go. There you go. Marvellous stuff with the hatch. The Shack Hatch offering does have some rules for RPD. They're very complex and I can't remember them. But there are some rules. And clearly it worked out in Executioner's favour. Right there. Patrolling the gates now. Oh. There's Dalita. Apologies. It's the World Cup. It's the World Cup. It's the 4K. It's Executioner in the round of 16. GG. GG. Right. Let's have a look here. So, Executioner, the full 4K, gets his 3rd win of the tournament on the back of 48 hooks. Wraith, a 3rd loss. 46 hooks total. Let's sort that table as we have now finalised. Ghosty and Executioner progress. Wraith is eliminated. Hag needs to wait and see. The winner of Group B is Ghosty. The runner-up in Group B is Executioner. So we're filling out these round of 16 tables. We also have our first confirmed round of 16 matchup. The final round of 16 matchup will be Executioner versus Plague. That'll be a fun one to watch. Group C. Lots to play for here. 9, 6, 6, 6, 6. The points across the board. Only Slinger is eliminated. Everyone else has a chance. It begins with Dredge versus Spirit. Lose and you're out is basically the narrative here. Dredge. This is a group in which 4 separate killers all have 6 points. Dredge and Spirit in this matchup here both have 6 points. If you lose, you are not progressing. You gotta win. You gotta win. A draw, theoretically, you got a chance. You're looking for all 3 points here, so you're looking for the 4K as James Sunderland moves around Shack. Oh, someone is out of position here. Okay. Huge opportunity here. Nicolas Cage. Away he goes. Not the ideal locker spawns. Oh my goodness me, gotta burn Shack Pallet, doesn't. Well then that'll be a dying state. Okay, a bit of a gift because things were looking a little bit rough with James Sunderland there. Dredge, it's gonna go for basement. Could be risky. Works out. Works out there for Dredge. Back hook. And away it goes. Looking for the 3 teleports. Just to get the most aura reading possible. Slap bang in the middle of the map. And scratch marks here. Didn't actually see any auras, unfortunately. But does see Taeyong. As that will not be the fault of their Remnant down here. It's going to be really tough for Taeyong. Yes, that should be the M1. Should be the injury. It shall be. Let's see unhook. Could be worth getting over there. Ugh. Have to move 1 locker at a time. Injured party. And he's out in no man's land here. So Dredge absolutely going to try and take this opportunity. There's the grab. Is it DS? It is not. It is not. So second hook for Nicolas Cage. And that gives Dredge just an option. An outlet in case the game starts to move away from it. Okay. Breaking the locker. Breaking the lock. Breaking the lock. And then there was some killer instinct off on this side. So going for the dying state here. V just happens to be heading to an area completely devoid of lockers, unfortunately. Drops a pallet. I'm trying to teleport ahead here. See what this does. Oh, it does close the gap somewhat. No pallet here anymore, of course. And that should be all she wrote. So difficult to see where you're going in Nightfall. So even though they had the vaults, they didn't see the location. Hook there. It's a decent enough start from Dredge. Doing some good work. Jen's still regressing over here. I'm going to try and keep an eye on these gens as Nicolas Cage and James are going to try and run interference here. Gives away a free hit. Not too unhappy with that. Happy to take another chase as long as it is a good early dying state. Remnant down here. Remnant does such a good job on this tile. And James can't do anything. Dying state there. This is classic Dredge. Liquid Dredge right here. Getting the hook. Liquid Dredge. What a horrible statement. So our scratch marks here. Whoa! And it's Nicolas Cage. Okay, he's in trouble. He's in huge trouble. This could be 3 survivors right here, right now. Does he vault? He does! Oh, but too late! And assuming no save in play here, it's a really unfortunate game for Nicolas Cage, but it's a brilliant start for Dredge. 5th hook state, 3 survivors left, still 5 gens remaining. Amazing. Amazing stuff. And it's the DC on hook as V is in the area. And Dredge might be about to twist the knife here. There's V, just walking. The team's spirit is completely broken, as may actual spirit be, if it is a 4K here. Alright, does Dredge get the aura reading on Taeyang? Yes! All the way in that corner. It may be one of the more dominant displays we've seen all tournament long. Where's Taeyang? There he is. Has got a Z wall. Has got naught but a Z wall. And live. And a dream. Kept to the periphery. Does he have a tile? He looks to the skies. Dredge looks as well. GG. 4K. With 5 gens still remaining. Sensational stuff from Dredge, and that is how you put yourself in a good position in a very, very, very tight group. 12 hooks for Dredge. So, Spirit is not out of this just yet. If she can get a 4K, she'll be on 7 points with 55 hooks. That would mean that she would leapfrog Houndmaster. Houndmaster would be eliminated. She would be in contention for strongest 3rd place, but that has really dented Spirit's hopes here. It really had to be a win coming out of this. Spirit has to get the 4K to keep the vaguest shred of hope alive here on Midwich. And Spirit has, I believe, a greater number of hooks than Dredge. So a 4K for Spirit would actually eliminate Dredge right here, right now. Which would be so tough after such a strong performance from Dredge, but that's just the way the tournament goes. Right, is there... There's no movement here, despite there being a noise notification. Aha. Oh, they've got the window tech here. But Spirit can counter that. Don't need to. Sable moves away. Drops the pallet. Vaults. Looking for the window again. They won't get it, at least not before the injury. They will hide around the corner there. They're trying some tricksy stuff right now. Can the phase do anything here? Not quite. What a shame. They set up on the other side of the pallet. There goes Haunted Ground. Okay, to be honest with you, this may well be a situation where Spirit leaves the injured party, who has some moves, and tries to find whoever got the totem. Failing that, any other healthy parties. As there's some great intel from Rancor. And there you go. Leon, God love him, he's trying his best. Right, no immediate pain reses, unfortunately. But at least some level of Haunted Ground value. Dropping down to the other floor. There's Alucard. Got maybe 10 seconds of Haunted Ground left. Basically means that you need this phase to connect. But it's Shadow Step. It's Shadow Step. Which is so tough. Come on, Midwich and for Spirit. As there's Dwight, but Haunted Ground is gone. Will be the injury at least. Okay. Very confusing little situation there. Maybe felt a bit more confident on the pallets than possibly he should have. And this will be an opportunity for Painres. Get some gem regression out there at the 4 gen stage. There will surely be a gem with some progress out there somewhere. As Leon gets healed, there is Painres. Spirit gonna head upstairs, try and get these 3 gems patrolled just a little bit. There's a noise on the gen way over yonder. Quite a long way to get over there for Spirit. As there's Sable. Look for the injury, doesn't quite get it. Phasing after her. This is a dead end. Oh, but Sable's done well to get past Spirit there. Damn. Could have done better with just a little bit more awareness of what the stairs were leading to and where Sable had to go thereafter. Phase here. Good injury. Good work there. Gets the phase back immediately. This is a huge opportunity. Just want to make sure you're keeping some awareness of where Sable's going, dropping down here. Big opportunity here. And doesn't even need the blink in the end. There's a dying state. Okay. And downstairs, there should be a Painres on offer. Oof. There actually... Oh, there was one up there, but too little, too late. What a shame. No matter. There is gem movement. No infectious fright from that dying state, so the implication is the survivors have fled the scene. They are far away. There is gem movement going on right now on this gen. Phasing around the left-hand side, looking for scratch marks. Doesn't find any, but does find Dwight. That'll be the M1, as the gen does pop. Bear in mind as well, Spirit does have Rancor in the back pocket for endgame, for Sable. As there is the dying state on Dwight. Was Painres used on Dwight? I guess we'll find out. Yes, it was, unfortunately. Not a lot of gem movement there. Maybe just worth getting back in amongst it, back upstairs to where this somewhat clustered collection of gems reside. There's a bit of movement here, not too much. And it's Sable again. Yeah, at this point, I don't know if you really want to prioritise chases with Sable all that much. Again, Rancor to look forward to in the endgame. Maybe leaving Sable with some hook states is a decent idea, trying to get pressure on other survivors and other gems. Alucard, for instance, who drops down. Big opportunity here, big opportunity here. Oh! Millimeters away from a dying state there. As it stands, Alucard flees the scene, looking for the pallet, finds one here. Gets the window. Well played. Pops over. Pops the pallet. Keeps on running. Doubles back. Ugh. He's done well enough there. Frustrations abound for Spirit. Aha, but decently done. That's the dying state. Is there a Painres available now? Obviously that one upstairs. One right here. Hopefully before a gem pops for Spirit, just to keep her in contention here. You do not want a 2-gen game. Alright. Dwight would be fantastic to locate here. I'll tell you what though, a distinct lack of infectious fright going on. That perk has been a bit of a whiff for her. As there's Leon. Infectious fright mainly bought to try and double down on haunted ground, but there will be some questions as to whether that was the right call. As Leon holding up there, gets around to the pallets. There he is. Drops that. Goes to the blind. Gets it. Okay, there's the kick. And another blind. Is this deception or is he actually in this locker? It's deception, okay. Worth a look if you're Spirit there. That's a shame. She's been beaten handily in that situation. Really needed the dying state. And all of a sudden, 1-gen game. A little bit of moving back and forth there. We're wondering for a second whether that was a survivor there. No, just a presumably a known bug. As off goes Alucard. Will this be the dying state? Oof, just finds a way of taking a surprising line. And Spirit's just not had that clinical final touch here. Giving Alucard all the opportunities in the world to get over the pallet. Fakes out that one. Big opportunity here. Bloodlust in play. That will be just the dying state. Just. That had to happen. Unfortunately, however, Hamer's already used on Alucard. Not that it will matter. There goes the final gen. If you can find Sable, you can get Sable out the game really, really quickly. But obviously Sable's going to be playing it incredibly cautiously right now. Spirit's just going to go on a patrol of these gates. Already 2 lights here. That's a damn shame. As whoever was here has fled the scene. There's a chance they're in a locker. It's worth testing out the theory. But it does seem for all the world like we're about to say goodbye to Spirit. Just a team were too strong for her in the end, it seems. Unless something really goes in her direction very soon. And if this gate is moving, it really is all over. And there they go. And there goes Dwight. GG. GG. What a shame. Just never really felt like she had enough. Got a healthy number of hooks. In the end, I believe it was 6. What that means for this table. Spirit suffers a loss that does eliminate her. Dredge gets a much-needed win. And that means that Dredge is not necessarily through yet. We still have to work out what's going to happen from some of these games here. Trapper versus Jason. Jason wins the group with a win here. Would eliminate Trapper. With a Trapper loss, Trapper needs a win to stay in contention. Trapper! On Borgo, you've got Shack, you've got Basement. Why not set up a little bit of Shack traps right away? That's a strange path to take, but whatever. Keep the 1 entryway. Alright, here we go. And that will also mean that if someone does take a chase around Shack, they'll be in a spot of bother. Not a fantastic trap, that, but hey, at least it's out there for Trapper. Right, so Trapper is in a situation, a surprising situation, where he has an honest-to-goodness shot at the playoffs. I believe he's made the playoffs in tournaments before. I can't quite remember. But, I mean, it would be a real surprise and a welcome one for the Trapper team if he were able to do it here. And he does get a nice early dying state right there. Going to get the kick out here, or maybe wait for Pop Goes the Weasel, perhaps. As there is disarming going on already in Shack. What you wouldn't have given for Basement right here in the end. There's someone just going around disarming every trap here, which, fair enough. I mean, hey, time spent doing that is time not on the gens, at least. Maybe if you're Trapper, you're not that worried about main building gen. I mean, look at how distant it is from pretty much every other gen. This is the golden 3 gen right here that you really want to keep on top of, right? Especially with the proximity to Shack over there as, oh goodness me, it's Sprint Burst. Wonderful. As they will flee Shack, of course. They're going to drop the pallet, not going to. This could be the M1. It'll be really close. Nah, not quite. Get the pallet. And then take the chase. Trying to keep them zoned back towards Shack. Good stuff there. They'll drop that. That'll be the reset. Get a little bit of haste with which to hopefully, yeah, zone them back. So this is a chase that you can commit a fair bit of time to if you're Trapper. You'd love them to burn on that side, and they will, getting the kick out there. Now they're able to push away from Shack and head to this side, and look at that, it's another trap. Fake out this, move around. Trying to catch him out of position. In fact, all that's done is let them flee further from Shack. But that'll be the M1. That'll be the M1. Where do they go? Where do they go thereafter? Yeah, they'll be looking to stay as far from Shack as possible. So they'll have to drop here. Pushing them around this way. Okay. Just really committing a lot to this here. It's just a positional game. It's psychological warfare from Trapper, trying to see if they will make the mistake of running back to Shack. If you got the dying state here, would you be able to get all the way over to Shack to basement? It's tough to say, isn't it? Maybe not. That'll be a throw. That'll be a kick. And 3 gens remaining. I mean, clear as day, he's overcommitted now. The idea was solid, but maybe didn't expect quite the luxury of pallets that Meg has benefited from here. There's dying state, finally. Gonna try and get the hook as close to Shack as possible. Won't be able to get all the way to basement. Oh, that is almost a pallet stun. We'll get adjacent to Shack. Can't go down this basement, alas. But can get this hook right here. Why not? Maybe this fools someone who's not paying careful attention to the situation. Getting the kick out here. Pop goes squeeze on this gen. Okay, after a really lengthy chase. Honestly, Trapper seems to have gotten out of that what he needed. Hook close to basement. Going to come back, see if he can catch maybe Michaela out of position as moving for the unhook. That's exactly what happens. Are they actually going for this? They really delayed that attempt there. Trap is set on the pallet. Oh, Michaela runs through, has this pallet as well. Going to just keep on moving away from Shack. Trapper preemptively going to push them back. Get the kick here. This is good. This is good. Can't use this pallet. It's trapped. They'll know that. They'll have to keep on moving. Got the window here. Is that live? Okay. Is this a makeable basement situation? With agitation. It feels like now or never for Trapper, so he's going to try it. And I think he does make it just okay. Quick as you like, get some of these traps out there. Don't have the luxury of time because anti-camp will be moving along at pace. Only time for one trap here. Maybe reset one of these. Maybe not even time to reset both. Again, anti-camp is going to be really, really worrying. Go, 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 go. Alright, gotta get out of there. Gotta get out of there. You need to force someone to come in for the save. You do have that entranceway to Shack still available, which is unideal, but that does give Trapper an opportunity to also enter Shack, so maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. No gen movement there. Whoa! As Ace Visconti is out on a walk. Out on a patrol right there. Really good stuff. Really good line. Here come the disarms. Okay. Trapper heading back there. Terror radius. That might make them panic. Maybe that trap down there will get the goods for Meg. Thomas. No, good awareness from her. As Michaela might be stepping into a trap here. No, they're both countering them really, really well. Endurance hit there, it will have to be. Oh, but an opportunity for something else. And Michaela just wants to get as far away from basement as possible. An annoyingly good save from Meg. Trapper really needed something from that. There's a dying state at least. At least. Is the pallet save doable? No. It won't be basement again. You get the feeling he's just a bit too far away for that, especially with the pallet having just been dropped. As Ace is looking for a body block there, only takes an injury. Alright. There could be options here. There could be honest to goodness options here for Trapper. Resets that. Resets this, why not? Remember, he's running the Trapper sack, which means no moving of traps. Maybe should have held on to Pop Goes the Weasel for that gem there. Well, there's no maybe about it. Definitely should have held on to Pop Goes the Weasel. Did he get an injury here? Just, whoa. Bit lucky to get that. Right, well, and then all of a sudden, you've got 3 injured parties. Michaela on hook, moving quickly through the status. There is the unhook. There goes Ace, there goes Michaela. Again, going to try and get as much distance from Shaq as possible. Setting up the trap here. As Ace runs back. And won't be able to do much of anything else. Dying state there. Is there going to be someone here for the pallet save? Hopefully not. They're going to go for it. They're going to get it. What a shame. You don't expect Death Hook Michaela to go for it in that situation. She does, and that's really tough for Trapper right now. Dying state hopefully should still be coming up. Is there another pallet? Oh, you bet your ass there is. You bet your ass there's another pallet. Will at least still be the dying state. Just got to take whatever hook is available now. Basement is a distant memory. Going for the blinds. Almost gets it. Jesus. It will be a dying state, however. That could be huge. A minute has not yet elapsed, so it could still be... Oh, it's bloody adrenaline. Of course it's bloody adrenaline. Didn't go for the hook immediately, fearing DS. It is, in fact, adrenaline, which explains why they were so confident in taking chases and going for saves and the like. Gonna set up the traps on the gates to make this still a little bit concerning for them. But at the moment, 5 hooks against Jason. Unlikely to be anywhere near enough. You could try and locate Ace. I mean, that would be huge for Trapper. What's Michaela doing? You could try and locate Ace here, and that would be 3 hooks right off the bat. The gates are trapped. The panels are trapped. They do get the full reset. But maybe not that worried about such things. That will be the kill. Okay. 6 hooks for Trapper. And with the gates protected as they are, you imagine there is still time for more to happen. There's a disarm. There is, unfortunately, it's Meg. Sprint burst there. Brilliant use of it. Injury there. And there's the disarm over there. So Trapper's on the clock. 20 seconds. There's Ace as well, pivoting here. This is not Death Hook Ace. Okay, exactly like we were talking about. This Ace Visconti has 3 hook states to give. This is the golden prize for Trapper right here. And moving just distinctly far from where either gate panel is. They're going to open the gate. Medium Volt, punished. As Meg just leaves. Okay, they're not worried about this one iota. Ace is going to go on hook, and assuming that the other Ace simply leaves his friend, this will be 9 hooks for Trapper. That's competitive. 9 hooks, that's a competitive total. That's the last trap down there. Is Ace going to do anything here? You're just going to play this really, really conservatively if you're Trapper. Going out to try and find Ace, it would only give you 1 additional hook state, and you run the risk of losing 3 or 2 from Ace here. So if the other Ace wants to come in for the save, Trapper is open to such a thing. But not going to go out and locate him, as there go to 4%. Their second stage. You've got that hook state. Maybe now. Maybe now. With that confirmed, you are in a position to play a bit more aggressively. Ace has left. It's all over. 9 hooks. Not bad. Not bad at all, the 9 hook state is. And good game awareness from Trapper there to pivot to Ace Visconti, who was in a worse position and offered more hook states. Jason. Trapper has put up a conventionally competitive total of 9 hooks, but Jason's been so strong all tournament long, you get the feeling that might not be enough. We will see. As there's gem movement right here. Big opportunity, looking for an immediate spike, looking to get some action going. Okay, early dodge, early dodge. Sending out an early spike there, just seeing if there was any chance at all that it would connect. Just a little bit too distant from any kind of spike reload stations there, unfortunately. So the jump scare does connect, and they're going to get into the building, so no spike on offer there. But there's another survivor across here. Good connection. Grabbing another spike here. Will it be a pre-drop, perhaps? It will not be. A little bit of a moonwalk here. Will this get anything going? Yeah, it'll be the M1. Very good stuff. Okay. After an early miss there, rallies back, gets the hook, and a free hit additionally. And another free hit. Honestly, why not slug, right? Why not slug after a situation like that? Anticipating the dodge and getting the dying state there. Grabbing another spike, because why the hell not? Well, has to be said, Jason was kind of struggling to see where the hook was there, so those hits actually could be very beneficial to him. On Resident Evil, gonna get the melee speed back by teleporting as soon as possible. As there is Adam, runs back for the pallet, goes for recovery, and it's made for this, so it does connect. Okay, well, this be the M1. It's also We're Gonna Live Forever, so it all begins to make sense, doesn't it? Okay, well, hey, not too worried about that if you're Jason. Grabbing a spike, getting the teleport, putting some pressure on again. Ooh, jump scare doesn't connect with anyone, but an opportunity here. Just sending it in a position where it had a chance there, but an easy dodge in the end for Dalita, and they're out of there. Alright, well, hey, maybe we would have been looking for even more from that whole situation. So there could be a spike in play here. There might have been an angle there, but it was always going to be a tough shot. Holding onto the spike, following up. As they go window, do they get it? Oh, and the duck there is what denies Jason. What a shame. The box. The jump scare. Huge opportunity. And there's a dying state. Okay, some of those plot twists out there. Jason does have some tech to find plot twisting survivors, but not easily. You'd need to be pretty close. So maybe just back on the gens. Put the pressure on in that way. Bit of movement here, not too much. More movement here, okay. Big opportunity with a spike. Patience as they get around the tree. There is the dying state going to come back for Pop Goes a Weasel. Good stuff from Jason. Keeping the pressure on in spite of a little bit of silliness from the survivors. Third hook here. 1/3 of the way to the 9 hook total, which would be enough for Jason. No movement there. This gen still regressing. Can be tough to see in amongst the almond blizzards. Still regressing that gen. There was movement here. There is still movement here. Can there be a teleport? There will be. Big opportunity. Big opportunity here. Oof. Just loses track of Adam, and an opportunity goes begging there. And he has fled the scene, as has Kate. Unhook over there, heading back. Go for the heal there, presumably. Could be a really good opportunity for a spike play in the corner. Oh, there's the heal. Good patience. Waiting for them to complete their dodge, then getting the hit. The aura reading from the spike, and... oh, that is gutting for Jason. Not only does the body block work, also no injury on the person who got the body block. Could still be okay. Okay. That was tough. Took longer than it needed to. 3-gen game now. Hook obtained. Hook obtained regardless. That won't do too much. And now a real opportunity here. Teleport here for speed. And there's the unhook. just needed to find the ankle there and does. Oh, as it's wide open throttle. I don't think Kate was ready for that. Oh. That actually gone elsewhere, unfortunately. There's the injury. And there's Kate. And it could be all over. Oh, God, the bit rate. Oh, God, the bit rate. Likely to be DS, isn't it? There they are. Dying state. Exactly what he needed. There's the Mori. And it's a 3-survivor situation. Apologies for the video quality here. The bitrate did tank for a little bit during all of that chaos. But job hopefully done in that regard. That will take him to 5 hooks total. Gets a kick out here. All right. And a moment to breathe if you're Jason here. After what was a very stressful period of the game, manages to get that kill. Breaks the door, comes back. And honestly, gotta find a way of putting pressure on Survivor, who already has a hook. Adam, the chase on Adam, may be the worst thing that Jason could be doing right now. As Kate heads upstairs, big opportunity with a spike. Oh, just finds a way to connect. Some incredible spikes happening here. Going through the door. They will get the pallet. They don't burn it immediately. Well, they do after a moment. On the third. There it is. Wide open throttle. They get some haste. There's the vault. Oh, it just gets caught in the doorway. Arduous stuff for Jason here. Has bloodlust. For all that's worth. It runs into Adam. Adam may be trying to run interference there. Won't be able to, and this will be a basement hook. That's going to be really, really tough for this team to navigate their way around, especially with only 3 survivors remaining. Checking if Adam is still around. No. Jen completes there. Oh, hang on. Spike through the doorway. Very good. Gets the injury. Still needs the kick here. And Adam is presumably around here. Runs back, heads around, looking for a way to get an angle on the unhook. And there he was, and there he goes. Has to be Adam here. The other injured party surely not going to be able to make a play like this. Oh, there they are. Alright, where's Adam? Adam's heading down. Within sight of Jason. There's been some criticism about the uneven application of the no slug rule. It is just not for the 4K. And it's only if you see someone, and both qualifiers applied there. So, hook there. Heading back up, assuming Kate has left the area. It'll be another hook in the basement. Good stuff from Jason, and this will be hook number 8. Not quite there yet, but an incredibly good situation for Jason. Looking for an immediate teleport opportunity here. Oh, hoping to have located Kate. So now it all comes down to where is Kate? Presumably self-healing or hiding, stealthing. There is the unhook. Kate gets the job done. Miss there, horrible miss. Gotta be at least Kate. There you go. Meanwhile, Adam has not left. Thalita's hanging around for whatever reason. Only 15 seconds of endurance here. That shouldn't be enough. No, dying state there. What the hell? Gonna go for the grab. No DS. So their time here is done. Adam could be waiting for a head-on play of some kind. Just don't get it twisted. Adam's still here. Likely to be DS, maybe, rather than head-on. No. Well then, with that, Trapper, alas, is eliminated. And with the 4K... Where on earth is K gone? With the 4K, Jason is through. GG. Assuming you can find Kate anywhere. Okay, well, settle in for the long haul, folks. Apparently, the bot's going to hang on for dear life in basement, and who knows where Kate has crawled. It's taking like a kind of widening perimeter search here. Surprising amount of distance. Did they get all the way to Shack? Maybe to the hatch out here? There goes Hatch. No adrenaline. Oh dear. Alright, I'm not looking at chats because they're being annoying again. Let's see if we can find Kate Denson. Nope, wrong Kate Denson. Sorry, I should have been clearer. The currently living Kate Denson. Do a bit of map management while we're perusing. Probably just skip a little bit of this for the YouTube video. Alright. Well, they've abandoned, as is their right. I guess we're just waiting for the bleed out then. This still counts a hook. Yeah. Jason gets the full 4K. He has secured Group C. Trapper. It was almost a fairy tale run, but has not done enough in the round of 5 and is eliminated. Right. Very, very, very interesting situation here. And if you're Hag, you're actually... Oh, by the way, Jason is through. Jason is through. Brilliant performance. 12 points. The most points of any killer so far. For Jason, unbelievable work. If you are a Hag fan, you're really rooting for a draw here. Additionally, I'm just running the numbers here, and I think regardless of what happens, Houndmaster's out. But we'll just play the game and see if that's the case. Slinger, who's had a disappointing campaign, easily one of the worst killers in terms of hooks, looking to end on a high here versus Knight, who has an opportunity to qualify. Slinger. He is out of the tournament. He's had a horrible time in this tournament, but his actions will still have a consequence as Knight is looking for the win that will send him through to an unlikely, a very unlikely, round of 16 position. Can Slinger finally start putting it all together and get some results? Well, not on the evidence of what just happened there. Patience. There you go. And that's what he's been lacking. Just that little bit of patience in the open field to wait for the dodge, they come back, then takes the shot. I think the nerves have just been getting to him as they have in every other tournament previous, and he's just been trying to do too much. And in the end, not doing much of anything. Opening hook there. Pain res, dead man switch off to the left. Good opportunity here. Here he goes. And no scratch marks leaving the area. There's Cheryl. There's the injury. Big opportunity here. They're going for the doorway. They do. And, oh, that is gutting that doesn't connect. What a shame. Maybe just to the left of Cheryl there, but really unfortunate nonetheless. There's the heal. Injury on Lara. Opportunity here. Big opportunity here. Oh, and there we go. Not being patient at all, as Lara could have got behind the crates there, so taking the shot and it connects. Okay. Plus the injury on Cheryl, so lots of good things happening here for Slinger. The gen is unblocked with Deadman Switch. Pain Res may apply again. It does, and it's immediately Deadman Switch again. Could that have been Cheryl who went all the way back? I think more likely that it's Meg who got back on this gen and tried to get it moving. No one hovering around here that Slinger can see. Maybe they went to Shack, although no sign of such things. Very, very intriguing. Well, nonetheless, two really good early Pain Res hooks that keep this game on side for Slinger. The gen's available now. You don't get the idea that whoever was there moved away, so maybe they are back on the gen immediately. Gonna have a look. As, yep, no regression. It is Meg. And there she is. Sprint burst, wow. Moving around. They choose not to burn the pallet. Oh, but they take the M1. They take the M1. Could the shot on be here into Shack? Not quite the range there. Not quite the range there, but opportunity around the corner for another Pain Res. Ooh, where did they go? Okay. It's Maggie. The range just lacking. It was on target. The shot was on target, but just not quite the range to connect. As there goes the first gen. Will I be concerned about the gen behind as well? That's been left alone, and it has a lot of progress to its name. Just gets around the corner more quickly than Slinger can handle. Did you party on the pallet? What? That was a very loud injury noise. Oh, they just fled the scene. Okay. Well, after a good start, things are looking pretty grim now for Slinger. Things have taken a real turn. However, this is good for him. And should be able to get them around these spools of wire. Well, they're spools without the wire. But anyway. And is this a Pain Res hook up here? It is! It is. Only knew that from the white aura. The actual glimmering particle effects weren't showing, weirdly enough. So, third Pain Res stack out there. Presumably hits on this gen. And either there was someone working on it who came off the gen, or there's no one working on it at all. Bit of movement here as well. Gearhead giving some intel. There's Deadman Switch. Movement here as well. Good shot there. Reloading. Getting back into this tile. And they were hoping for a window, presumably. Nothing there for them. Someone will be able to get in for the unhook. A gen does pop. It is that one by Killer Shack. No surprises there. That's been a pressure point all game long. Was unlikely to hold on to that too much longer. Getting back to the hook on the hill. Looks like they have healed beneath the hook. Yep, there's Cheryl. Great shot! Now, they did use Dramaturgy. There's a non-zero chance. Oh, that it would have been exposed. That's interesting, though, because the shot kind of interrupted their Dramaturgy, so I wonder whether the effect would have procced. Tough to say. But anyway, hell of a shot. Shot not quite on there, but an opportunity here. And there you go, brilliant. And basement as well. Why not? The stars are aligning for Slinger here, and this is added to the list of killers who've not shown up until round 5. This is Slinger's best performance by far. Not a win yet. Nothing confirmed. 3 gens left, and there is significant progress on that middle gen. But just signs of life from Slinger, finally. After all these days, weeks, months. Deadman switch. Good stuff. We'll keep the gen blocked for a little while longer as Meg with sprint burst flees the scene, of course. Says Maggie. Maggie, who is Death Hook. Big opportunity here for Slinger. Good shot there. They presumably commit to Shack. They vault back, perhaps. They do not. They use live. Shot will connect. No M1 going to be in play, but at least it keeps them around this tile. Time for Slinger to reload. Coming back around here, getting the kick. Do they get to Shack? No. So, and then there were 3. 3 survivors left, 3 gens left. Pretty good situation for Slinger. But before we get too cocky and start handing him the crown, there goes a gen. 2 gen situation. They've got to be holding on to these 3, right? Not too worried about that one at this stage in the game. A screen of some kind. No movement to the left. None here. How's this one? It's also not moving. Okay, so the 3 gen is under control for the time being. As there's Lara. Okay. Surprising situation there. Meg on the gen, who also is the one remaining pain res survivor. Very important. Whoa, as Lara makes a good move there. Not what Slinger expected. Pivoting to that tile. And as soon as the chase has started, 2 people both got on gen. So they know what they're doing, and they're looking to finish the game with 1 good chase right here, right now. Will they be able to? Slinger's not going to get the M1 around here, right? Worth a go. Okay. What kind of line does Lara take? It might be worth just getting back on these gens at this point. Movement here. Sprint burst for Meg. Away she goes. And you needed to find a way of connecting with that. Right, so that gen blocked. Cheryl on this one. The range is sufficient. That will be the injury. And if you can make this a 2 survivor game state, you've got a real chance. As Meg will try and take a hit for Cheryl. Injury there. This thing is completely fine with this. Pain res again, so important here. Ducking won't do enough, and this should be the dying state. It will be. And pain res right there, so good stuff. The only other person you could go for other than Cheryl is definitely Meg with that pain res token that they possess. Right, so it looks like both other survivors have gone over here to maybe get the heals going. Wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, if they were maybe moving that gen as well. And there's Cheryl. Great discovery. Big opportunity here. Do they get the window? They're not going to get it. And there is your dying state. 2 left. Presumably Lara's going to get the hook. The unhook, sorry, while it's all happening. They do. So they'll be able to flee the scene. Although Slinger should be able to see where they're going. Back on them pretty quickly. Yup. Okay. Scratch marks go around here. And they're on the periphery. There's Meg. Big opportunity here. And now it's just a matter of, can you find Lara? Never mind, it's a matter of, can you find Meg again? DS does make a lot more sense in that situation. They did seem to take that dying state a little bit too willingly. What a shot! Can he capitalise on it? No, it was a great shot, but just always quite tough to get the angle to get the hit on the window there. But it does stop their progress. It does put some pressure on here. Also, intel on Lara on the gen. There's the M1. That's huge. Good shot there as well. He came to play today, didn't he? There's your hook. Meg in the vicinity as well. Didn't get the prompt for the pick up there for whatever reason. Right, do you get any line of sight on Meg? They were running off in this direction. Are they hanging around Shack, or have they fully fled the area? Looks like they found a way to get away. Maybe in this corner somewhere? Damn. There's been a lot of this situation. The opportunity for the killer, sorry. Not the Kinger, that's a Pokemon. The killer. To end the game really quickly. Just unable to do so. Will be another hook. And now back to Lara. Nothing's ever easy. Where has she gone? Maybe found a way to get back to the hook here. At the very least, the path to the unhook is rather treacherous. For her here, she may already be relying on a hatch escape. It looks like that's the way it's going to go. All right. Is there also going to be any kind of adrenaline in play? No. But the gates are pretty nasty, so it isn't over yet. But it is no way out, so it probably is over. Especially with the 4 stacks. And there's the abandonment. Okay. Right. Where's this bot, then? What's this bot gonna do? Hopefully tap a gate, and hopefully soon. Let's just chill out here. Right, that does have implications here, assuming it's the 4K. We'll review that when the 4K is confirmed. There's the gate tap. Just don't let Lara leave your sight. There they are. And there's the shot. And that'll be GG. Well played. Too little, too late for Slinger, but at least he has something to point to say that he was here. There's the 4K. Right, to the spreadsheet. So what that means for Knight is that the best that Knight can do is get 12 hooks, which would leave Knight on 48 hooks and 7 points, exactly matching Houndmaster. Let's have a look at the seeding table. Houndmaster is above Knight in the seeding table. That would be the final tiebreaker. Knight all the way at the bottom there. Therefore, regardless of what Knight does, he cannot qualify. He's eliminated. And that also means that Dredge has qualified here. But we play out every game, so we'll do a Knight game right now. Knight Yamaoka. He is eliminated, unfortunately. Out of nowhere, Slinger came through for the 4K, which means that there is no path to qualification for the Knight. He's had a much better tournament than I think many people would have anticipated. He can definitely hold his head high. 3 no mithers? What the hell? Okay, it's a dying state immediately. Hold on, I was doing like a kind of funereal spiel for the Knight there, and then I realised there's something very strange going on. Hello, Dustin. What's going on? Are you done? Are you unhappy about the 3 no mithers? You want to go on the hook? Okay. Well, it seems like Dustin has been put in the worst solo queue lobby of all time. What could the funniest possible thing be? The funniest possible thing could be basement right here. It isn't, alas. Basement over in Shack. And both Leon and Sable invoking. That would be the funniest possible situation right now. And that would also be maybe the quickest possible 4K for Knight. No. Surely not. There's the unhook. Okay, so there's not even Assault Circle. So it's not even invocation from anyone. It's just 3 people living the no-mither lifestyle. And hey, fair play to them. Dustin doesn't like it. Dustin's not a fan of it. I'm so sorry, mate. Knight didn't ask for this. Let me guess, you're just chilling. Okay. So you want to be out of the game, but you're taking the Decisive Strike skill check. I understand. I understand. Alright, so Gem pops over here. Can the assassin locate a no-mither gamer? Put them under some immediate pressure. Gem movement here. Get the kick out there. Any aura reading? Yes. What a peculiar game for Knight. It almost feels like it's a shame. Well, it's partly a shame that the game is kind of meaningless, but also I think it kind of fits that in a meaningless game you suddenly have this absolute farce. Apologies. Apologies, Dustin. Up you go. Dustin, not willing to contend with the no-mither squad. There is gem movement here. Sending the assassin a long way around. Catches on Leon. Leon who's right here. Honestly, takes a really good path. Does well. Ooh, good effort, but unfortunately, just a no-win situation with the jailer there. Right, maybe let the old Carnifex handle that pallet and get away. Gem movement here. Get the Pop Goes Weasel pick. Is there any aura reading? There is none. There is none. Hard to do any kind of commentary on a game like this. It's oh, I don't know. There's very little logic here. Hanato never runs. Oh, never mind. Hanato has Sprint Burst. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. As the assassin does connect. Knight going around Shack here. The classic pincer maneuver. Gonna be tough for Hanato to get away. Oh, hang on. Is able to do so. There's Dying State. Okay. And then there were 2. Leon and Sable. Alike in no-mither. Lovely stuff. Just showing off here tonight. Just showing the audience that yes, he can control the guards and he can use the correct ones for the correct jobs, but it makes a bit of a meal of the jailer patrol there. As there goes Leon. Sending out the assassin. Looking to get ahead of him. He is going to be able to do so. There he is. Oh, but the assassin connects. And decent line from Leon. There goes Sable as well. Has the window. Has Lithe. Keeps on running. Getting the Jada out there. Which will not connect. Okay. Good work there. Good work. Right, looking for aura reading again. Find some. There goes Leon. Get the assassin out there again. Which does connect. Okay, that's helpful. They're just running along. Again, trying to put Leon between himself and the assassin, and kind of failing to do so. Leon's got a good line going. So good stuff there. Pallet's gone. Should be able to get the window. Nice. That's a huge eruption hit. There is Sable. There's the intel, but remember, no slugging for the 4K. This would be an easy decision for the board if Knight were to go off and take the chase there. So got to take the hook, got to play into the hatch situation. Can he find Sable? Will the Knight be able to find Sable, maybe? Going right down Main Street. No immediate intel. Nowhere to hide. Trying to paint as much of the map as possible with aura reading. Finding none. Oh! Well, there you go. Giving up on hook. And Sable, if she is in a position to immediately get hatch, could end Knight's tournament on a loss. But here's Knight's. And there's the hatch shut. And it's all gates for Sable. Oops. Sending out the assassin here. Briefly patrolling that gateway, heading to the other one here. Not fantastic gates. Well, they're not bad for Knight here. How's the line of sight? They're perfectly fine. You have to go a little bit distant here, but there are scratch marks. There's Sable behind the Z wall. And it looks like it is all over. GG. Well, farewell to the 3 No Mither team. Sorry about the immediate actions of Dustin. I think we can all understand where Dustin was coming from, but maybe did have a duty still to put in some kind of effort from the team. So that'll be Knight finishing on a 4K. Which will not be enough. First draw of the tournament for Knight, as it is Slingers. First draw. Which does change Group C, so let's resort that table. So we are done with Group C. Jason and Dredge will progress. Knight will not. Howmaster still clinging on to hope of a strongest third place qualification. Spirit in 4th, Trapper in 5th, and Slinger in 6th place.